Spencer in front, backhander scores! The puck back in. Campoli trying to clear it. Burrows is pressed. Got the puck loose to Edwards. Back in for Alex Burrows. It's up in the air. Now McKinnon to the side. No! With the left glove! Are you kidding me? What a save!
Hey, Canucks Nation. Brandon Alston here, play-by-play for the Edmonton Canucks. You've got it locked on the line change. The Vancouver Canucks podcast.
What's up, guys? Been a while. Oh crap. Oh no, everything's all good. Anyway, as I was saying, it's been a while. Good to see you guys. This is the After Dark post-game show. I am going to be 100% transparent with you guys. I didn't watch any of this game. I was unfortunately at work. Didn't manage to catch any of this. So there's not going to be a whole lot of thoughts on the game itself, at least for me. Gerald might, pop in at some point. He did say he wasn't sure if he was going to make it for this. So you guys are stuck with me for now. But let's not waste any more time. And let's just get into the game itself and go over the goals. Let me just bring up here. All right, let's start off with the first period. Drew O'Connor got the Canucks started with his 14th of the season, assisted by Brock Besser. So it's good to see not only Brock Besser back, but getting on the score sheet in his first game back after that concussion to make it. So this made it 1-0 Vancouver at 1 minute and 58 seconds. So Drew O'Connor wasted absolutely no time whatsoever and would put up the Canucks by 1. Of course, Kyle Connor would tie the game up with his 26th of the season, assisted by Mark Scheifele at 11:42 of the first period. And after the first period, it was 1-1 between the two teams. Moving on to the second period, Evander Kane would score his 10th of the season at 38 seconds into the second period to make it 2-1 Vancouver, assisted by Elias Pettersson. So again, it's good to see Petey get on the score sheet, especially with all the trade talks around Petey, at least lately anyway. And it's also good to see, Kane get on the score sheet, considering probably in the next week or so, he's probably not going to be on this team. Hopefully, anyway. So, yeah, 2-1 Vancouver. And then Gabe Vilardi would tie the game up at 18:45 of the second period, assisted by Mark Scheifele and Luke Shen, his 22nd of the season. We were all tied at 2 apiece in the second period. And then there were no goals in the third period, so we were going to overtime. And unfortunately for the Canucks, unless you're all about Team Tank, Cole Perfetti would put the nail in the coffin for the Canucks, scoring to win the game for Winnipeg, his 7th of the season, assisted by Lowry and Sandberg at 1 minute and 37 seconds into overtime. And that was the end of the game. Canucks lose 3-2 to the Jets. I don't think a lot of us Canuck fans are too bummed out about the loss. I think we were kind of expecting it. Although I will admit, when I heard that Connor Hellebuck was not starting this game, I did think Canucks may actually have a chance to win this game with Hellebuck not in net. But hey, I'll take the loss too. Again, it's the first game out of the Olympic break. We're all thinking about the trade deadline and all that. So, plus, again, a loss does not hurt the Canucks' tank, at least, or their position in the standings, rather. Let's take a look at the game stats, shall we? So 23 shots on goal for the Canucks, 28 shots on goal for Winnipeg. Face-off percentage, Canucks were a 49.2%, 32 out of 65. And the Winnipeg Jets were slightly higher than that with a 50.8% and a 33 out of 65. So just basically they won one more face-off than the Canucks did. The 2 power plays went 0%. The Jets were 0 for 3 and the Canucks were 0 for 1. Penalty minutes, 6 for the Canucks, 2 for the Jets. So the Jets only had 1 penalty against them. Canucks had 3, including apparently, from what I saw on social media, a too many men penalty. And I thought, and especially after watching not watching the Olympics, but seeing the Olympics highlights, I didn't realize that was still a thing. So, or that they still called too many men on the ice penalties. But moving forward, we had hits were 24-20 in favor of the Canucks. Block shots were 21-7 in favor of the Canucks. So a lot of block shots from the Canucks in this game. Giveaways were 16 apiece. And I believe what's cut off there down at the bottom is takeaways, but I don't think we really care too much about the takeaways there. Let's take a look at the shots on goal. The first period, very close, 8 shots for Winnipeg, 7 for the Canucks. Second period, the Jets outshot the Canucks 13-4. And then the third period, it was the opposite. The Canucks would outshoot the Jets 11-3. And then the Jets would outshoot the Canucks 4-1 in overtime. And that actually kind of explains or makes sense with the Jets winning in overtime. The Canucks only had 1 shot in overtime. And, you're not going to win in overtime if you only get 1 shot on goal. Especially from the looks of things, it looks like the Jets had more control in overtime. But let's move forward and let's take a look at the player stats for this game. Obviously, we're going to look at the Canucks. We're not going to look at the Jets, but going down here, we have Brock Besser, who had 1 assist to 1 point. He was a +1, 19 minutes and 53 seconds of ice time, 2 shots, 2 blocks, 2 hits. Connor Garland was a -1, and he had 16 minutes and 30 seconds of ice time, 1 shot. Drew O'Connor with the goal, who was also a +1, 15 minutes and 36 seconds of ice time, 1 shot, 2 hits. Niels Höglander, good to see him back in the lineup as well. He had zeros across the board except for penalty and minutes. He had ice time of 9 minutes and 25 seconds, 1 shot, 1 block, 1 hit. And then you had Elias Pettersson, who had an assist but was a -1. He had an ice time of 16 minutes and 25 seconds, so a little down. Maybe we're just easing him back in due to him playing in the Olympics. But he did have 7 blocks. Now, we talked about how many block shots the Canucks had. PD had 7, so that is pretty fantastic there. Good to see PD getting in front of shots and, basically putting his body on the line. But it also would help if he, could score. That's what you're paid $11.6 million to do, is to score, not block shots. We had Teddy Bluger, who was a -1, had 17 minutes and 22 seconds of ice time. Obviously, a little bit more ice time than PD. Obviously, Canucks are probably trying to put Bluger out there, maybe get teams interested in him and maybe showcase him a little bit. 2 shots on goal, 2 hits. David Camp had an ice time of 13 minutes and 23 seconds and 2 hits. Jake DeBrusk was a -1. He had an ice time of 15 minutes and 7 seconds, 1 shot, 1 block, and 1 hit. Evander Kane with the goal, and he had an ice time of 14 minutes and 14 seconds, 4 shots on goal, 2 hits. And you had Liam Ogren, who was a -1, 14 minutes and 5 seconds of ice time, 2 shots, 1 block, 1 hit. And I think the bottom is being blocked. So let me move this scoreboard out of the way real quick here. There we go. Marco Rossi, again, good to see him back in the lineup as well. He was a +1, 17 minutes and 7 seconds of ice time, 1 shot, 1 block, 1 hit. Then you had Linus Karlsson, who had an ice time of 9 minutes and 23 seconds, and he only had 1 hit. Let's take a look at the defensemen. Tom Willander was a -2, ice time of 19 minutes and 8 seconds, 1 block. Pretty high ice time for Tom Willander. It looked like that is so 1, 2. So the 4th highest ice time for a defenseman is Tom Willander. 1 block. And then P.O. Joseph obviously was in the lineup because there was no Tyler Myers. And actually, we're going to get to Tyler Myers just after this. Was in the lineup 13 minutes and 53 seconds of ice time. Philip Hronek was a +1, 28 minutes and 53 seconds of ice time. 4 shots, 3 hits, and 2 giveaways. Zeev Buium, again, good to see him back in the lineup as well. And ice time of 16 minutes and 30 seconds. 1 shot. DPD was a +1 with 19 minutes and 34 seconds of ice time. 3 shots, 4 blocks, 2 hits. And then you had Marcus Pettersson, who was a -1 and had an ice time of 22 minutes and 44 seconds. 3 blocks, 4 hits. And of course, Nikita Tolopilo was in net for the Canucks. 25 saves on 28 shots. Obviously, he gave up 3 goals, so his save percentage was at .893. A little surprised to see Lankinen backing up Tolopilo, as I didn't think he was going to dress at all. I was certain it was going to be Patera, but I believe I did see on social media that Patera actually got sent down after being called up. So perhaps, Lankinen got back to Vancouver in time and was able to at least back up Tolopilo. Now, we mentioned we were going to talk about Myers, and because I didn't actually watch the game and don't have a whole lot of thoughts on the game itself, I figured we'd instead talk about the big bombshell that was dropped earlier this afternoon, and that was about Tyler Myers. And when this tweet came out at, just before 4:30, General Manager Patrick Allvin announced today that defenseman Tyler Myers will not play tonight against the Winnipeg Jets for roster management purposes. So basically, that was their way of saying he's being held out of the lineup because we're trading him, or we're in the process of trying to trade him. Now, I will admit, when I first saw this, I was absolutely shocked because Tyler Myers was the last person who I was thinking that would get dealt first. Actually, I honestly didn't even think he was going to be dealt at all because, we obviously know he kind of made it known. He didn't want to move. He had no intentions of moving. We all know he had the trade protection, and he, made it known, I think, last year, that he has no intention of moving, or he wanted to stay in Vancouver. We know that I believe it's his child has some health issues, and that was a big reason why he didn't want to move. Apparently, he really likes the healthcare here, and it really helps out his family. So, yeah, Tyler Myers, I did not think was going to move at all. So this obviously caught me off guard, and I was not expecting this. I figured this name would be, a Vander Kane or a Teddy Bluger or even a David Camp. Tyler Myers was the last person who I thought would be traded. I know he hasn't been traded yet, and there's still kind of I guess they're still waiting on Myers when it comes to actually trading him. And actually, let's go over and take a look at a quick little article from our friends at Canucks Army. And actually, David Quads, our good buddy Quads, actually put this out earlier today. And he goes on to say, the Canucks welcome the Jets to Rogers Arena on Wednesday night for both clubs' first game action since the Olympics. While Myers skated on a pairing with Zeev Buium at the morning skate, it appears that P.O. Joseph, who skated as the lone extra defenseman this morning, will slot into the lineup in place of Myers. In addition to Dollywell's report, TSN's Darren Dreger, I know there's been a lot of flack for Dreger on social media, but he reported that the Canucks have a trade option they've asked Myers to consider. He has protection and is taking his time to consider it. I'm told it was presented 2 days ago. The veteran and his agent, J.P. Barry, who also is Elias Pettersson's agent, continue to deliberate. This afternoon's news comes as a bit of a shock, as Myers' name hasn't been a part of many trade rumors to this point in time. Myers, who turned 36 earlier this month, has a young family and lives in BC year-round. Didn't really seem realistic that he would be willing to waive his no-move clause to help the Canucks facilitate a deal. But with these reports, seems that that's the direction this is headed. What Myers should be able to do if he chooses to waive, remember, he still has to decide, his work with the Canucks on finding a destination that makes sense for him and his family instead of being told where he's going. This is a developing story, and we will update it as more information becomes available. So he still hasn't said yes to waiving his no move, is basically what this is saying. I will admit, while I was at work, I was literally refreshing Twitter like constantly to see if a trade would actually go down either before the game or even during the game. And obviously nothing materialized when it comes to that. Perhaps maybe in the coming days, we might actually see something. But again, he still hasn't waived his no move yet. So they're probably still, trying to, facilitate that trade. I do have to say, I do hope that a contending team decides to take a gamble on Myers and, picks him up, because honestly, Myers deserves, to be on a contending team. He deserves a chance to win a cup. And I really do hope that he does go to I really do hope he goes to a contending team. Because I absolutely love Myers. I know he's, had his moments on the ice, but I feel as though he's a very good veteran voice in that dressing room. And it sucks that, we're going to have to trade Myers. But hey, this means one of the younger defensemen is going to get a chance to play. Like a guy like Mancini is going to get a chance to play. So that's why I'm not too down about this, and I'm actually okay with this. I'm just surprised that Myers is looking like to be the first name to be dealt. That's the whole thing. I'm just surprised that it's Myers of all people, who's likely the first to go. But let's get into your comments. I see them kind of rolling in a little bit, so let's go ahead and do that right now. See Rain's in here. Good to see you, Rain. G's in here. I said sorry, y'all. Don't think I'll be able to make it on tonight. All good, buddy. All good, man. Urban's in here. Good to see you, buddy. Were you at the game? Gee. Clay did a last-minute open mic for his last 15 minutes. Oh, crud. I should have hopped on, but I was busy trying to get this ready to go. I also worked a little late tonight, so there's that. But yeah. So what are your guys' thoughts on Myers potentially being the first Canuck to be traded prior to the deadline? Let me know in the comments. What do you guys think about, it being Myers? Are you shocked like I am about it? Yeah, I mean, I certainly am. Like I mentioned, I'm surprised that it wasn't Kane or a Bluger or a Camp. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about Myers potentially. And I say potentially because, again, he still hasn't actually waived his no move clause. And where do you think a good destination would be for Myers? Like, where could you see him ending up? Like, could you see him maybe, I'm just going to spitball here a little bit. Could you see him maybe going to LA, or I don't know. Yeah, I get, yeah, that definitely true. But at the same time, like I said, Myers was the last person I thought of. So yeah, very fair, Urban. We did trade Canadiens, although I guess wait. Well, I guess at least from what I've seen on social media, not a whole lot of people are happy with Quinn. At least since the Olympics and whatnot. Although I will say, it was absolutely freaking hilarious seeing clips of Hughes absolutely sloshed after the U.S. won. And, like, even like during like, what was it? The press conference, him, pointing to his beer and going like, well, get me another beer. I thought that was absolutely freaking hilarious. And then, that interview he did with, I forget who he was with. I know Larkin was there, but I think he was with somebody else too. I may have been Jack, but just hearing him, talk, do the interview, and you could clearly tell that he's, already slightly drunk. But I just thought that was the most hilarious thing ever. But yeah, did I say Seth Meyers? Yeah, you can tell I've had a long day if I did say Seth Meyers, you can tell I've had a long day. But no, I'm not talking about Seth Meyers. I'm talking about Tyler Myers. Yeah, Brain brings up a very good point. This isn't just a rental. Myers still has 1 more year on his deal, so no wonder Myers is weighing his options. Yeah, absolutely. And like I said earlier, he made it really well known that he didn't want to go anywhere. So, but the fact that the Canucks actually went to him and said, "Hey, we have this, option on the table." Someone, like, I'm not sure if it was an offer. They haven't exactly said that it was an actual offer. Let me know in the comments if that was the case. Maybe I just didn't see that part. But they basically went to Myers and were like, "Hey, we have this option. What do you think about it? And would you be willing to waive if we could try and facilitate this?" But the fact that they're, being patient with Myers and letting him decide is pretty big on the organization. And also it kind of tells you too how much this organization, appreciates Myers and, basically just how they see him, when it comes to the locker room and how much respect they have for him. So I do really like that. Good to see you, Harry. It's been a long time, been over 20 days. So just about 3 weeks since we had our last post game. As Gerald mentioned, Gerald will not be popping up like he has in the past. So you just have me for this one. So maybe we'll go over some other stuff as well, just to, just for time purposes. Maybe we'll go over some other stuff. Trade deadline is, coming up next week. And obviously, as you guys have seen from the channel, I've been posting a lot of, trade deadline stuff and, trade rumor stuff and speculation and all that. And if you guys haven't checked that out, go ahead and check that out on the channel. I put up, three videos on today. I think it was 3 yesterday. It may have been 2 yesterday, the day before that. Yeah, actually, that's actually a really, really good idea. Yeah. Let me just look at this from Harry. Would you do Kane and Myers to the Leafs from Matthew Nyes and Brandon Carlo for a first rounder and a second rounder? I do like Matthew Nyes. I wouldn't mind Carlo, but I don't know if the Leafs would actually do this, because I think I'm not well versed when it comes to the Leafs, but I don't think they're open to trading Nyes at all, especially since they've lost Marner. So I'm not sure if the Leafs would actually do this, but hey, I wouldn't mind it. I'd be willing to take Nyes and sure Carlo, but again, I just don't think the Leafs would actually do this. If Myers gets traded, what rounder do you see the Canucks getting? I wouldn't be I don't think it's going to be anything good, like, early. I don't think it's going to be a first, second, third. I don't even really think it'll be a fourth. Maybe a fifth or sixth round pick we could maybe get, unless, they're the option that they brought to Myers a couple days ago, involved a roster player. I'm not sure if that would be part of it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was like a late round pick for Tyler Myers. So you know what? I'm going to actually shoot Rain an email real quick with the link. Although, here, let me find something here. Well, while I try and figure out to send Rain the link, do you think Canucks will do a package trade or a 1-for-1 trade? I wouldn't be surprised if it was a package for Myers, like I said, like a roster and a draft pick. But I also at the same time wouldn't be surprised if it was a 1-for-1, especially if it was Myers for like a draft pick. I wouldn't be surprised by that at all. So I think it could be either or for Myers. Gerald's going to send him the link. All right, cool. Yeah, because I don't want last thing I need is my internet cutting out. So I do also have quite a few things open right now too. So I do have some videos planned for the next few days too. Obviously, leading into the trade deadline. I believe tomorrow I'm gonna do one on Pettersson and the whole LA stuff. I know I kind of like talked about it a little bit in a video earlier today. But I'm gonna more the video that's gonna come out tomorrow is gonna be focused more on LA and that whole scenario and whatnot. So I'm definitely gonna have that come out tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that for sure. I also have one on just talking about the deadline itself coming out in the next few days. I'll also probably do a video tomorrow, going into a bit more detail on the whole Myers stuff. I'm actually gonna kind of like look around and see if there's more info, and maybe do a video on the whole Myers thing. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Hopefully, when this trade goes down, I'm not at work and I can actually jump on, maybe do a live once the trade actually goes through. So hopefully I can do that. Were you expecting Kane to get traded first or Myers? Definitely Kane. 100%. I thought Kane would be the first to go. So that's why I was surprised that Myers' name came out first and that they were holding him out of the lineup for a trade. Which team do you think would be a good fit? I think I mentioned LA just because I was spitballing there. LA, trying to think. I'm thinking he might, I'm not sure what his preferences are when it comes to, where he goes. But I'm thinking he might want to stay on the West Coast. Obviously, make things easier for him. So I could see maybe, I don't know, maybe Calgary, heaven forbid it's Edmonton. Hopefully it's something out of the division. But yeah, those are just, a few. Yeah, it could be a Canadian market for sure. Anyway, he's gone. Ooh, that's actually a really good one, Urban. Dallas. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, he might go somewhere like Dallas. Trying to think somewhere else. Yeah. Dallas is a contender. So, like I said earlier, I really hope he goes to a contending team, and goes somewhere where he has a chance to win the cup. I don't think he's going to go anywhere on the East Coast. So I think you can kind of rule that out. Then again, I could be wrong. I'm not sure whatsoever what his preferences. But I imagine he would want to stay on the West Coast for sure. ASGA, good to see you. Simon, good to see you as well. In your opinion, who do you think Vancouver is going to trade, and where do you think Myers is going to go? I just kind of was briefly talking about this. I mentioned Calgary, LA. I kind of mentioned Edmonton, but heaven forbid he actually goes to Edmonton. But anyway, I'm going to bring on Rain, and we're going to – why not? Maybe I'll ask Rain this question.
Sorry, that took too long to get that set up. So.
It's all good, buddy. All good, man. All good. So what? I may as well just pose the question to you. Where do you think Myers is going to go?
For some reason, I think the New York Islanders. I don't know why, but that's the team I think. But, if this is all assuming he says yes, though, because like I said, he has another year left. This is not just a rental. This isn't just, a 2-3 month rental. This is going to be something where he's got to really think about this. And there's still a part of me in the back of my head that says, you know what? No, this could be the Mitch Marner to Carolina route. Remember Marner had turned down the trade to Carolina. So I wouldn't be surprised either way. But to me, the fact that it's presented as we're asking you to consider this isn't, that means they're not convinced yet that he's going to actually move. So, if this was hey, here's 3-4 options we have for you, pick the best one. No, this is we need you to consider it. They're not sold that he's going to say yes to a move yet. So we'll see how this goes. Oh, by the way, Gerald says if I can last half an hour, he might jump on. So.
No, definitely. I see when I saw that whole roster management purposes thing, I was like, why not just say trade purposes?
Because everybody else
it seemed like they were being a little coy. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
They were being very coy with the wording of it.
We're not stupid. I mean, this is Patrick Alvin. This is the king of word vomit, I call him. So, I'll put it this way: if Patrick Alvin is the king of word vomit, then Jim Rutherford is the grandfather that you're obligated to bring with you to the family functions, but you're constantly spending the whole night apologizing as saying that he's quote unquote old.
Yeah, he's old and senile. Don't pay be bothered by anything
that's
he
just
says.
Grandpa being grandpa.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, exactly.
Just grandpa being grandpa.
Totally. Yeah. Oh yeah, my grandpa used to be like that. It was hilarious. Ooh. Especially those family reunions. They were it's just grandpa being grandpa.
Yeah, no, my grandfather was what came in his brain came out his mouth, that was his type. So, and people tell me I have no filter. Oh no, I have filters.
I do think that Islanders thing is actually pretty interesting. I think I actually even saw someone doing that scenario, saying hey, the Islanders might be a good landing spot for Myers. I
don't know why I thought Islanders. I'm thinking because when I think teams, because whenever there's a player who is out there on the market, and we have Team A, Team B, and Team C that are interested, the Islanders are never a team we think about. When Horvat got traded to the Islanders, did we ever hear the Islanders? Not really. We didn't. We didn't hear the Islanders. So that's what makes me think. When it's the Islanders.
Yeah, I mean, I know I mentioned I don't think he'll go to the East Coast, but hey, I could see him going to the Islanders for sure. I think that could be a good dark horse. Although Irvin says Myers for Schaefer confirmed. I fucking wish. Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
God, no. No.
I did notice on social media earlier while I was at work, because it was so slow at work today. So I was, on social media. I didn't actually watch the clip, and I'm not sure if you've seen this, but apparently Frank Saravelli is getting a lot of heat.
I haven't watched that shit, the dumpster fire. I haven't watched this,
but yeah, apparently he got into it with I think it was Bruff, on the radio this morning. And I've seen some of people saying what he was saying and whatnot. And
Oh, and
honestly, at this point,
Keith Olbermann get into it or with him?
Oh yeah, I saw that too.
Oh,
Yeah, but I just want to make it clear, I cannot stand Frank Saravelli, so I'm glad he's getting torched, because the guy says some stupid fucking shit.
Well, he's a fucking dick. He is. There's a reason he's never stuck around at any job.
Too.
I
too, and apparently,
I always say if three people who all know me that all say the exact same thing, then it must be true. And also, if you have a fight at this spot, at spot A, spot B, and spot C, and you're at all three of those spots, aren't you the common denominator in all those situations?
Yeah, exactly, definitely. Yeah, I've never liked him. I've always been like, okay, he reports something, and half the time it doesn't happen, especially when it pertains to the Canucks. Usually the opposite happens. I believe Russell and I both had a bit of a gaffe at that. But I just can't stand him. I don't know if it's his silver hair or what. I don't even know if he actually dyes it. Maybe some of that hair dye has gone to his brain. But I saw that earlier, and I was like, bleach does hilarious. Make me stupid. So yeah, so I thought that was hilarious that he got torn apart live on air and then had a little hissy fit about it afterwards.
Yeah, because nothing says mature than a grown ass man having a hissy fit on the radio. So yeah,
especially when you're a guest too on said radio show.
Well, a guest who's trying to stay relevant at this point. So
yeah, very true. He's not the only insider that's kind of taken some heat. I noticed Darren Dreger is kind of taking some heat too. Apparently got into it with
Was this the Crosby thing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, apparently he went after a doctor or something who was, I guess, diagnosing Crosby. And he's like, hey, you're just guessing. Honestly, I don't mind Dreger. I actually really like him. So I'm not looking too much into that one, but just seeing him kind of getting torched himself about it.
I have a thought when it comes to these insiders. To me, I've always thought this, which is, remember when Bill Guerin was upset that Kaprizov turned down the 8-year times 17. Remember, he got mad that news had come out, but he didn't deny it that it was true. I always think if these people in management didn't want the news out there, don't fucking tell an insider.
Yeah.
Doesn't take rocket science to figure it out. Don't tell a fucking insider. Don't tell a journalist, because nothing is off the record at this point. Nothing is. Come on. Fuck.
Yeah.
Lord.
Don't tell them to be like, hey, don't say this. Don't say this now. Say this at this time. They're not going to wait. They're going to say it.
No, because they always want to be the first to the story. They that's how it works.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I will say though, we can shit on Saravelli all we want or whatever. Remember, a broken clock is right twice a day. So I will say that though. Which I said that, and somebody's like, true. What does that mean? It's like, what does that mean? It's like, oh Lord. But no, I'm with you. I can't stand him, but I think there's a reason he's never been able to last at any job he's been at least in media. Mm-hmm. So yeah. How did we go from TSN to him running a sports gambling
Daily Faceoff? I think he was running. Yeah.
Oh, so whatever.
It was Daily Faceoff he was running. And apparently an old tweet of his apparently surfaced, apparently for something that he said regarding the Olympics and the men's team kind of getting torn to shreds a bit. Yeah, and apparently he did a tweet a long time ago.
I believe it was 2010. Had to a Tim Thomas and how he refused to go to the White House to meet Obama. Is that right? And then now he's this was the Keith Olbermann one. This was where he basically drift into it, which, by the way, I personally can't stand Keith Olbermann, but I don't disagree with him on this one.
Yeah, definitely. No, I saw that and I was like, interesting. But
I was.
yeah,
I knew what I was going to get into. This is total. This is going to be a total conversation, Turner. Do you think Garland gets a first round pick? That's a
I think
no.
originally, that's what I wanted. But I think now I don't think he's gonna get it. Maybe a second.
I was gonna say like I've said this everywhere I go. I think Garland gets the best case scenario is the Brad Marchand trade return, like what Boston got in return. That's the best case scenario because and this is why I don't take any stock in the Garland trade rumors. Like I've said this everywhere I go. We've heard this now for 5 years. Like we're going on 5 years now. We've heard these Garland trade rumors. We've never gone a season without hearing them. And I think if Garland could get you a first round pick, you would have done that trade already. But also, here's the double-edged sword though that comes with it. So, in my opinion, Garland's a third liner. And I think most contenders view it the same way I do. So, if you're a contender, you're going to look at it and go, okay, why am I paying a first round pick for a third line winger? Like if you're a third line centerman who is versatile, that's totally different. I mean, even fourth line centers can get a second round pick in this current climate, but a third line winger is not going to get you a first round pick. And also, even with a rising cap, $6 million is still really expensive for a third line winger. So that's one aspect. But then there's the other side, which is if you're a bubble team or a non-playoff team, why would you ever give up a first round pick, and especially in this draft, given how there's a perception with how strong it is? Why would you give up a first round pick if you're a bubble team? I mean, even the Sharks, who gave up 2 seconds for Sherwood, that's not a first round pick. Because again, the Sharks are a bubble team. Like there's no guarantee they're going to make the playoffs. And also, if Sherwood couldn't get you a first round pick, because he's also a bottom 6 forward on a contender, how is a guy making 4 times the salary going to do that? And the reason that the reason that Marchand got the return he could is because Marchand was a captain. Marchand's more productive than Garland is. Marchand, I think, in my opinion, is more versatile. You can play him anywhere in the lineup. I think Garland, you can only put him in certain spots. So that's how you got to the second, which turns into a first, which is why I say it's the best case scenario. So. But yeah, I don't take any stock in these Garland trade rumors. I think it's called shit or get out the pot. Like either move him or don't. But and listen, I'm a Garland fan. I love Garland. Although I'd be lying if I said I didn't have any disdain, which by the way, all Canuck Nation is lying if they say they never had any disdain.
Yeah, very true.
Sorry, just saying you are.
Yeah, definitely. Them being, like on the fence about it. And now all of a sudden, reports are coming out that, they're more open to it. It's like, pick one.
What is that? That translates to we've been open the entire time. That's what that translates to. It's not that the thought went away and came back. It's that the thought never went away in the first place. There is a difference between that. So.
Harry does looks like he has a question for both of us. I think this pertains to the Myers thing. At least I think this is the question. Do you think the Islanders have the money to extend Myers when his contract ends? Didn't they extend Horvat before?
Well, Myers is 37, so he's not going to. Myers is like 36. Like he's not going to cost you an arm and a leg to re-sign, even though that's the case. But I just think the Islanders, for whatever weird reason, it's just the first team I thought of. Because I'm trying to think, like when they traded Noah Dobson to Montreal, I don't believe they got a defenseman in return. But of course, that was back in the draft, so I don't
think they did get a defenseman in return.
2 firsts. I believe it was 2 firsts and Emil Heineman, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. If Heineman
it's after 1 a.m. Like it's a miracle my brain is on. It's amazing my brain is working.
I don't think the Islanders will have an issue with that. Plus, we actually don't know how much longer Myers is even going to play. It's probably not going to be another 3-year term. It probably like maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah,
max.
You said you were shocked when this was the first player. I'm not quite. I'm surprised that he's the first player, but I'm not surprised that the Canucks went to him and asked for it because I remember when the 3-year extension was signed, it threw off a lot of people that it was 3 years.
Mhm.
Like the
Yeah.
money wasn't so much the issue because I mean Myers did the right-handed shot, so you're a millionaire by default when you're right-handed. But the fact that it was 3 years, it was like, ooh, that's a little long. Like if it was like 1 or 2, I think nobody would have cared. But the fact that it was 3 years, it was like, huh. And I always think that you go back to what your original thought is. Like whenever news comes out or you're told something and whatever your first reaction is to it, there's always a point in which you go back to it. And I always go back to my thought of, I don't think he'll be here in 3 years, or he'll still be there. But
Yeah.
I just remember thinking like that was it was an odd reaction. Like I think people were pissed because I mean, this is my thing with Myers. Myers is one of those defensemen where after his rookie season, he's never quite lived up to the hype of where he was supposed to be. Remember, this was a guy who was rookie of the year in 2010 when he was in Buffalo and never quite got back to that same level. And the reason that he got the big contract with the Canucks in the first time, that 5x6, was because he was the number one defenseman on Winnipeg, particularly in 2018 when the Jets went to the conference final, because this was before Dustin Byfuglien retired. This was before Jacob Trouba was traded. They were both injured, so Myers stepped and became the number one. But I still remember thinking, this is not gonna age well. And I mean, listen, there's been a lot of frustration with Myers as in Vancouver. There's been and I think part of it has to do with the fact that Myers doesn't stand out. There's not an asset to his game that stands out. Like he's not, for a guy who's 6'8", he's not going to throw the body.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 6'8", but he plays like he's 4'8". He's not an offensive dynamo. He's not like a power play quarterback. He's almost kind of like the Cody Ceci, where it's teams want him, but somehow manages to incredibly frustrate the fan base wherever he goes. And you're like, why would you give this guy all this money? Like, why? So, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. So,
no, you get a point there. I mean, I love how you're like, he doesn't really stand out, which is hard to believe considering he is 6'8", and you would think someone like that would stand out, but no, he doesn't.
Doesn't stand out. There's not an asset to his game in which you go, okay, like when I think this, I think of him. Like offense, you think, okay, well, I mean, you're thinking like before Hughes, like, okay, offense, Quinn Hughes. Hitter, you're thinking Zadorov or whatever. Shot blocker, you're thinking Ian Cole. Although Ian Cole, you're also thinking Snail. But anyways, but with Myers, he's just kind of there. Like he's kind of like Besser when he's not putting points on the board. He's just kind of there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like what people say. He's just a chaos giraffe. He's just there.
Oh, I just had a thought because I didn't watch much of the game. Like I was kind of in and out of it. I wonder what Besser's PK time was tonight, because I had a hot take on Clay's show before the Olympics, and I said the only reason Brock Besser was on the penalty kill, because I never believed in this evolution that he's supposedly taken. I thought the only reason he wanted to be a penalty killer was to try and get his name on the Olympic roster. And I said, once the Olympics are over, we're not going to see him on the penalty kill anymore. Or we're going to see very little of it, if at all. So I'd be very curious to find out how much penalty killing time he had tonight. Because, I mean, the Jets, whatever, they over 3 tonight. So I'd be very curious to find out.
Yeah, they were over 3.
I'd be very curious to find out how much PK time he had, if any. So, because like I said, I think it's because I don't believe in coincidences. That's been my thing. I don't believe in them, and I don't believe it's a coincidence that after he snubbed and left off the Olympic summer camp roster, that all of a sudden now he wants to be a penalty killer. So I never believed in it. So we'll see, and I don't think we're going to see him on the penalty kill much, if not at all, for the next 20 whatever games it is left.
Yeah, I guess it's 24 after today's game. Harry does have another question for both of us. What was your reaction when the Rangers traded Panarin to the Kings?
Oh, Rangers got fleeced.
Did you want to go first?
Rangers got fleeced. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I love how it went from Brock Nelson is the comparable that the Rangers are looking for in a Panarin trade, and it went from Brock Nelson comparable to Liam Greentree and 2 conditional picks. It's like, okay, that's, and I think it was a real fleecing, but I said that LA needed to be the team that did it because LA needed to make a swing because this is Kopitar's last season. So you gotta come out running. And I mean, LA also needed to make a move to escape the narrative that they've lost in the first round to the Oilers for 4 straight years. You need something different. You need new energy, which is ironic because you get a guy who's 34, which, okay. But the extension kind of threw me off.
My reaction was the same.
Yeah. It's like, really? But the extension kind of threw me off. I'm like, because I'm thinking it's gonna be like 4 or 5 years because he's gonna want like one last hurrah at this. 2 years at $11 million. It's like, that's not the number I would have thought. I mean, 11 million bucks doesn't surprise me, but 2 years, really? Okay.
Yeah, I was a little surprised by the 2 years, but yeah,
2 years threw me off, but
the trade itself,
and that's the thing that's really interesting is how many trades can we think of where the hockey world agrees basically entirely? Like that's very rare to see in a trade where the hockey world agrees and we all agree that that was an absolute fleecing, like a complete fleecing. I mean, it's like what else is there to say? It's like
that was
really?
one of those ones where you're like, LA, start the fucking car and get on the road. Like you just robbed the Rangers.
Oh yeah. Like it was just grand larceny is what that was. And I mean if Panarin shows up in the playoffs, man. Well, but here's why the extension also surprised me as well. I thought for sure he was going to test the market. I would have figured for sure he would have tested the market to see what was there.
Yeah,
now, and the ironic thing is, you know, I'm not into this idea of, you know, the longer you wait, the more likely you are to get a deal. I don't think that's true, but yeah, just that package sucks. And, you know, I thought the Rasmus Anderson trade to Vegas, I thought Calgary got robbed in that. No, this is even worse. This is even worse than the Anderson trade package. And I still think that's a bad trade for Calgary.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, like I said, I thought that was, when I saw that go through, I was like, really? That's it?
I was waiting for more. I'm thinking, this can't be it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, there has to be more, right? This can't be it.
Yeah,
like, I don't care that he's 34. Like, there's got to be something. There's got to be more
at least get the first round or at least a second round pick. But I guess with the conditions, you know, that could turn into a first. But
that's a lot of conditions that they got to meet to get there, though. And I mean, LA is not exactly the fastest team to begin with. We've seen the last 4 years. But what's ironic though with LA is, at least in particular the last 2 years, July 1st comes, we criticize the moves that they make, and then they somehow end up making the playoffs, and we kind of go, how the fuck did you do that? Like,
yeah, exactly.
How did you do that? Like, you skate like molasses like 75% of the time, but yet somehow you made it here. I guess that just shows. I guess that just shows how much the Pacific sucks.
Yeah, I remember that being the case this past offseason. You know, myself included, all were like, okay, LA did fuck all. Like, I think they're gonna I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs. They're gonna take a massive dive. And here they are.
But I mean, we said that but we said that the offseason of 2024, we said the same thing when it came to the signings of Joel Edmondson. Remember how that was viewed as like one of the worst signings of July 1st, 2024, and LA still made the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, you know, LA is kind of like the Washington or the Pittsburgh of the West. It's like, even when you think they should be out, somehow they're just not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually a really, really good comparison, actually. I like that. But, you know, I thought they were, you know, going to take a dive, and then here they are. I think I haven't looked at the standings in a bit, but last I checked, I think they were in a playoff spot. And now they have Panarin.
I know Panarin's got a point tonight. I know he's got a point tonight against.
Mhm.
I can't remember who they're playing because I saw the highlights during the intermission. But,
Mhm.
anyways, speaking of Washington, I did have them as my dark horse pick for Artemi Panarin before the trade to LA because I'm thinking, can you imagine Panarin and Ovechkin? Although they'd be playing the same wings, so I'm not sure how that would work.
Yeah, unless one of them moved to the other side, maybe.
Yeah, I don't see that though. Because who are you going to tell? Who are you going to get to do that?
Yeah. I mean, I think out of the two would probably be Panarin because Ovi's not going to do that.
Oh, absolutely not.
So
absolutely not.
Just looking at some comments. Urban's got a good point here. Yeah, Panarin basically conducted free agency by choosing.
Well,
basically that was the whole thing. He had the power.
Yeah,
so he basically
that's very
decided where he
true.
went.
Yeah, that's very true. That's a good point.
Looks like Rosie's in here. Good to see you, Rosie. I think
Yeah,
Urban's mentioning this is towards Myers, I think. He's a supervillain in Seattle. Imagine if he ends up going to Seattle.
Oof.
That would be pretty funny.
That would be something.
Yeah, I don't think the Canucks would get a whole lot back. I mean, I don't think they are, in general.
I
but
can't
I don't
imagine.
think they get really
I can't imagine though. But then again, like I'm trying to think. Okay, comparables. Okay, Luke Shen went for a 3rd-round pick, and he played the majority of the season with Quinn Hughes. But I always think, like just like centermen, defensemen go for more than we think they are going to go for, except for Rasmus Anderson. Like I always think, okay, if it's goalies, you got to go less. If it's defensemen and in particular centermen, you got to go more than what you think. Which is why I still think Blueger might get if the Canucks get a second for Blueger, I think you got to do it. Now I'm 50-50 on if they're going to move him or not, but I think Blueger could get you a second because I think it's like 2 examples: Thomas Buchanan and Brian Boyle, both 4th-line centers when they were traded at their respective times, and both got 2nd-round picks. I mean, ironic because it was both Toronto in that situation. But anyways, but the point that I make is that I think that centermen, particularly ones who are like further on the depth chart, because we've said before, your 3rd line is what wins you the cup. Your 3rd line is the one that does it. So I think that if a team who's needing depth down the middle will look at Blueger and go, we could get a 2nd or a 3rd for him. But I do think if it's a 2nd, you got to do it. You got to do it. Kampf, I'm not convinced moves because you could have had him for free, like as recent as like 3 months ago. You could have had him for free. So I'm not sure why you would trade an asset to get him, unless it's the future considerations, which just means nothing.
Yeah.
That's really definitely what that means at this point. And then I don't know how much I buy there's all this interest in Kane. I don't know if I buy it. Because I feel like, well, first of all, would the Canucks actually retain? Because this is not a team that's known to retain. They're not known for doing that.
Yeah, I think they've made it known that they'd be willing to retain. I mean, it's not like it's like a whole lot. I think if they retain half, it's like 2 point something.
Yeah, and I mean it's for like 4 months or however long it is. So,
yeah.
But I don't know. It's one of those moves I'd have to see it, but also I'm not a Kane fan, so I have what I call boxes on my aisle when it comes to Kane, so it's hard for me to give fair commentary when it comes to him. And I'm self-aware enough to recognize.
Yeah,
I'm aware enough to recognize that.
No, yeah. I struggle with that too. I struggle with that too, even just like complimenting him. Like even with him scoring tonight, I was just like, yay.
Yeah, see that's the thing is most people don't know that. Most people are not aware that they have preseason note, or they might be aware, but they're like, fuck it, who gives a shit? But anyways.
Yeah.
But I mean, I never understood that move in the first place. I still don't get it. And
Yeah, I still don't get it either. I'm still, I guess, trying to wrap my brain around that whole deal as a whole. But I have floated recently, if they can't get a deal done for Kane, terminate his contract.
Yeah.
Get him
Oh
off the
yeah. I
books
mean,
that way.
we saw Jeff Skinner get terminated by San Jose. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's not
I mean,
exactly.
obviously, they might have to actually go to Kane about that. But
I was gonna
hey,
say
it
terminate
happened
him
to
for
Cam.
what? I was gonna say. I guess that would be the question: is terminate him for what? Because then you'd be running into the PA going, why are you terminating his contract? So, but then again, there hasn't really been an explanation for why Jeff Skinner's been terminated. So there hasn't been an explanation for that.
Very
So.
true. Yeah, very true. Yeah, that whole Skinner thing kind of made me think, you know, like if they really want to get rid of this guy, just terminate his contract, and then he can go.
Happens in the KHL
play
all the
wherever he
time.
wants.
Happens in the KHL all the time. So it's amazing my brain's still working this late. My God.
Sure.
Hey guys.
Yeah, looks like Gerald's popped in. I'm not sure. Oh.
Lord, I've kept him awake. Oh God, that's scary.
Thanks, Rain, for like doing all this. I was listening while I was driving. And,
God.
And I wanted to, the last part that I heard before jumping on the StreamYard, I had some issues because I have a different account for StreamYard. I was trying to get into this one. So yeah, the Garland first round. What Rain said, not that I disagree with you. For Rain, remind me, the Garland deal should be 6 million by 6 by 6, right?
6 by 6.
Exactly. Okay. So for a player of 6 million for his stature, ability to score goals. I mean, let's be honest. This is an off year for him. Trades, it's not going to fetch a pretty penny at this point because when was the last time he scored a goal? And before that, he had a 2-point game just before the Olympic break. And before that, he went 13 games without a point or without scoring. Yeah, he was pointless for 13 games. So these are facts that I'm pulling out of my ass right now. But if any of you want to fact check that and prove me wrong, please do. But I'm pretty confident on those facts. And with the cap going up to 104 next year, I think as soon as next year, it should be 104. Even at 6 million a year for a third line player, that can jump up to second line duties, whatnot. Like wingers can, it's like a Swiss Army piece. Swiss Army knife that you can throw. Like wingers can be thrown anywhere, right? One day you could be a top line winger, the next you could be a fourth. Look at DeBrusque, right? But that's on a team like the Canucks, right? So for $6 million a year, it is sort of palpable, but the problem has to be is, can Canucks retain? So if you can retain, let's say, I don't know, 1/6 of it, $1 million, you could potentially get a first, is what I'm trying to say. Look at the Tanner Jeannot trade at the trade deadline a couple years ago. And what did Tanner Jeannot fetch?
That's
He
one of
fetched
the
the
worst
first.
signings. That's one of the worst signings. I don't know what Boston was thinking with Jeannot. That was terrible.
Exactly. So if you're able to get someone to bite and do that, you know, nothing is impossible. Like what Irvin was saying earlier in the chat, he's like, you know, nothing, like anything can happen, right?
Yes.
So
nothing shocks at this point. So I guess
exactly.
for me, it's like I said earlier, we're going on 5 years now. We've heard Garland trade rumors. Like the man's never escaped a season without hearing a trade rumor, to the point where his agent was given permission to facilitate a trade. So you could have had him for a lot less. And I just think if you could have gotten a first round pick for him by now, you would have gotten it already. Or if they could have gotten a first pick, they would have done it already.
That is also very true because I mean, it's also like there's a lot of things that we don't see behind the scenes, right? It could have been Garland saying no because at that point there was still Quinn in the picture, and he wanted to stay in Vancouver.
I'll throw this in too. I'll throw this in as well. So, like I said, I'm a Garland fan. Now, I will say this as well. I think he is going to have to go somewhere else in order to flourish, because I think
100%.
he is going to have to go somewhere else in order to flourish. Now, if you take the Ekman-Larsson trade and you separate it as Garland for just the first, you could make a legitimate argument that Garland was worth a first-round pick at that point, because he was coming off a season where he was almost a point-per-game player, and he was arguably one of the most sought-after restricted free agents at that point. So you could make a legitimate argument that if it was just Garland for a first, you could make that argument that would be a justified trade. The problem, though, is that we always tie him back to the Ekman-Larsson trade, and that trade is viewed as one of the most hated in recent Canucks history. So I think no matter how hard he works or how much effort he puts in every night, we always go back to it, and there's just that unfortunate baggage that just sadly comes with him. And I've compared him to Adam Larsson before. The whole time Adam Larsson was in Edmonton, that's all Adam Larsson heard. No matter how good he was doing or how good Edmonton was doing, we always compared him back to Taylor Hall. We compared him to Hall after he won the Hart Trophy in particular, when Hall did that back in, was it 18 or 19, whichever year that was. But I don't know. I just think so. If the Canucks could get a first round pick for Garland, great. But I just think we're past that point at this point. But I don't know. I could be wrong, but I feel like if that offer was on the table, they would have taken it already.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Rain, you know what? The first rounder just for Garland itself wouldn't make sense. At that point, he was on an expiring contract at $4.95 million a year. That's just before Benning gave him the I think it was
5 times 4.95. And remember, they had never talked when that deal was made. That's the thing that kind of gets lost in the fold. They never had a conversation. Like, it wasn't like Garland had expressed interest in wanting to come to Vancouver. Like, Jim Benning admitted they didn't even talk before making that trade. So they made that trade not knowing at all if Garland was going to stick around for those 5 years or any period of time. So, but the first round pick at that point, you could argue that was justified. But it's also the same point I made earlier with Garland, in the sense of a contender is not like, I don't think a contender views Garland as worthy of a first round pick. But if you're a bubble team, why would you give up a first round pick in this year's draft? Like, this draft is too strong for it. And I think that if you're a team on the bubble, I don't think you can risk trading a first round pick like that unless you got conditions like there is no tomorrow, or you know damn well what you're getting. But I also think
you have a bonehead GM like Benning,
who
gave up the ninth overall pick to save his job, which turned out to be Dylan Guenther. And also, just to mention, within that trade, that first round, aside from Ekman-Larsson, like OEL, Jay Beagle was also thrown in there. There was also
Louis Eriksson and
six
Antoine
by
Roussel.
six.
They were all expiring contracts.
Exactly. So you have to factor that in for the first. I can't remember what else was in that trade, but I know it was a first. These three players.
I believe it was a third. I believe it was a third for 2022. I think it was, something or something like that. But it's kind of viewed the same. But in that argument, that's viewed the same way as the Marcus Pettersson trade. The Marcus Pettersson trade is the same way. The first round pick wasn't only to acquire Marcus Pettersson; it was to dump off Vinny Desharnais and Danton Heinen. So,
yeah, I mean, I at that point when I looked at the trade for that specific one for Marcus Pettersson, was that okay, a first, and you can get these expiring contracts off. But really, like, you're at a point right there. You just traded JT Miller, and you trade another first just to get D-man.
I gotta tell you this. I gotta tell you with this Marcus Pettersson trade reaction, because I do think there was shock, though, because it was right after the Miller trade happened. But I think that for people who didn't like the trade,
No. Listen, no, the trade was done before the JT Miller trade. JT Miller trade was dependent on that first in order for them to get Marcus Pettersson. The Marcus Pettersson trade was already done. Like pretty much it was like a handshake deal that was done before the JT Miller, or else they wouldn't have announced it right after, right?
Yeah.
So
But I will say this though. One of the things I really don't like, this is just a personal gripe of mine. I don't like it when people react to a trade based on, I don't know who the player is, so the trade sucks. I'm not a fan of that. And a lot of people acknowledge they had no idea who Marcus Pettersson was, but because they don't know who he is or what kind of player he was at that point, the trade automatically sucked. Now, I will say, Marcus Pettersson was, like, at least at that point anyways, he was legit top four defenseman. He was arguably the best rental defenseman available at that point. You could make a legitimate argument he was the best rental available at that point. And also, did the Canucks really think they were going to make the playoffs with the defense core they had at that point before making the trade? No, not to mention, top four defensemen are pretty damn expensive to pay for. You're going to have to give up a pretty decent asset in order to acquire the type of defenseman. And then also, the other thing that I really fucking annoyed me was people arguing, well, you could have just gotten him on July 1st. First of all, unless you had a crystal ball, you don't know that. Like, you don't know if you have a crystal ball. Two, once you get to July 1st, any sort of leverage you have now dissipates. You're now on the same playing field as everybody else is. And third, my favorite point, the argument of, well, we could have just gone on July 1st. How did that go with Jake Gensel? Because somebody remind me, but I'm pretty sure Jake Gensel didn't end up in Vancouver. So.
yeah, you bringing up Gensel reminds me of Panarin before he re-upped with when he went to New York or re-upped in New York. They had him looking at houses in Vancouver. Someone reported that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They might sign him. There was no shot in hell.
This is what pissed me off with the Gensel to Vancouver thing, because nobody in Canuck media differentiated from what is it that made Gensel a favorite for Vancouver? What was it that Vancouver that was a favorite for Gensel? Not being interested, because being interested and being a favorite, those are two completely different things. And nobody in Canuck Nation and Canuck media had a good answer to how is it that Vancouver's a favorite to land Jake Gensel? Because the thing we kept hearing was, well, he's got familiarity with the management team or coaching or whatever. Well, if that's the case, then we should have heard the same thing with Steven Stamkos. Because Rick Tocchet was his first head coach back in Tampa. So why didn't we hear the same thing with that? I think it was probably more to do with the fact that Canuck media just wanted it to happen more than anything else. Like, I don't believe it had anything to do with they had leverage that they knew that they could get him, or his familiarity with the management was so tight. I think it's just something that Canuck media wanted to have happen and really felt disappointed and really kind of had egg on their face when he ended up in Tampa.
Yeah.
No, but here's the thing is with that, Vancouver media is they can talk about anything, every little thing that they can get.
Oh yeah.
And this is.
Well, Vancouver's the third largest market in the world, third largest hockey market in the world. So I mean, anything Canuck is going to come up. Like it's like the Toronto of the West.
That's good. Toronto of the West. I like that. Although, do I like that? I don't know. Being compared to Toronto, I don't know. The whole Gensel, the whole Gensel thing. I'll admit I was pretty disappointed we didn't get him, but I also didn't think we had that high of a chance.
No, I was gonna say I never believed that was gonna happen.
I mean, what team wouldn't want a guy like him?
Yeah. Well, exactly. That's the thing.
Obviously, you're going to want a guy like Gensel. Like, who wouldn't want a player like that?
Who wouldn't want a multiple 40-goal scorer, multiple Stanley Cup winner? Who wouldn't want that? And that's the other thing I didn't understand either is, so here we go with Tyler's favorite player. So the Miller contract was viewed with cautious pessimism at best. That was at best was cautiously pessimistic or polarizing. Like that's putting it mildly. How is paying a winger more money? Or let me rephrase that. So the best reaction with Miller was it's going to be fine in the beginning half, but this is not going to age well. This won't age well by the time it gets to like the latter half of it. With Gensel, that never came up. It was never, ooh, this may not age well or whatever. It was, who gives a shit? Just give Gensel what he wants. Even if it's 7 times $10 million, give it to him. We're not going to, we don't care what happens in years 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I never understood why that was different. It's like, could it be because maybe Gensel's not as controversial? I don't know. But I never understood why.
Very good point.
But I never understood that. It's like Miller, it's like, ooh, this is not going to age well. But with Gensel, that somehow went flying out the window. Like nobody cared about the fact that, ooh, this, because they were both 37 by the time those deals are up. So they are the same age.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. Simon has a question here. I just wanted to get, actually he has 2 of them actually, so I guess we'll answer both of them. In your opinion, do you think there's going to be trade? Whoa, I can't see that. There we go. This weekend, and some of the teams not going to be waiting. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there were trades this weekend.
Oh yeah,
I think we already saw one of them the other day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, it was a minor
trades
league
are going to
trade.
be coming out
It was a minor
of
league
the,
trade.
what this weekend.
I think we're getting into the era now where, and Jim Rutherford really is the pioneer of this, where it's if I have a need, I'm not going to wait for it. Like I'm not going to wait on it. And like I said before, I don't believe in this philosophy of if you have an asset, like if you wait longer, you're going to somehow get more. I think you actually get less. And I think that a perfect example of that, like this isn't a rental, but I think a perfect example of this is the Jacob Chychrun trade from Arizona to Ottawa. Like remember, LA and Edmonton were both interested in Jacob Chychrun, but each time they met their trade package need or what Arizona wanted, they kept upping the price to the point where LA went out and got Vlad Gavrikov, which that's a name I think people forget about, and Edmonton went out and got Matthias Ekholm. And I remember there was a lot of criticism that Edmonton overpaid to get Matthias Ekholm because the reaction was, well, why didn't you pay that with Jacob Chychrun? And my thought was, I bet you they did offer that to Jacob Chychrun, but Arizona got too greedy. And then, because you can't sit around and wait forever to make that sort of a move like that, especially if it's like been 2 years in the making when that trade should have happened. And so by the time the trade to Ottawa happened, my first reaction was, that's it. But then I thought, oh, wait, no, because by that point, everybody else had moved on and had gotten other pieces because Arizona just got too greedy. So you got to be real careful with waiting it out. I mean, Vancouver knows that very well. Dan Hamhuis redeemed for Brada. Anybody? Ooh, good one.
Yeah,
What's up, boys? Guess who won the game tonight?
definitely. Actually, some, like I said, has another one. Oh, let's see if it's low. Trader. No, I'm just kidding. Do you think NHL trade deadline will be busy next Friday? Oh,
We'll define busy.
oh, fuck yeah!
Well, we'll define busy.
It's going to be busy. I'm going to be busy next Friday for sure.
Well, the reason I think define busy is because I find what interests me more is not so much the trade itself, but the trades that don't happen. Like I find that to be somewhat more interesting. The trades that don't happen, because it's like, what went wrong, or why didn't this happen? So but like I said, I think teams are at this point where we got to pull the trigger sooner. You get more time. Get more time to be familiar with your new surroundings and develop the chemistry. Although here's the thing with chemistry though, it has to be there first in order for it to grow. Because if it isn't there to begin with, it's never going to. So But yeah, I think it'll sound like it's busy, but I think in terms of actual
Definitely.
moves, I'm not totally convinced that. I think the more action will be leading up to the trade deadline, but I don't think the actual day of. I don't know if it'll actually be that busy. So we'll see. Especially considering no double retention. Remember, there's a period of time in which you have to keep the player retained before you can retain before you can get a second team to retain. So that's going to be a big factor. And also, teams have to be cap compliant for the playoffs now. That's going to be a big factor in whether or not these teams can make the big news. Like the rumor out of Colorado after the Sam Girard trade was now they got $8.7 million in cap space. Crosby or Kadri, anybody. So I'll believe that when I see it. Oh, is he lagging? Oh, geez.
Yeah, a little bit. Here, I'm just actually closing some windows right now. Maybe it's on my end.
I'm surprised I haven't blown out. I'm surprised I haven't blown out anybody's hearing yet. Let's see. Oh my God, almost 2 a.m. Jesus, how's my brain still alive?
There we go. See if that works. I closed Photoshop too. I think that was running.
Oh,
in the
there you go.
background.
That might do it.
But yeah, it's I don't think we have let's see if there take a look at some of the other comments as well. Urban, I think Urban's long gone now. But he's like, I'm the Jake DeBrusque of my workplace. I float around doing the bare minimum while other people take the heat. Yeah, that's pretty much me at work too. That's pretty much me.
Okay, so here's my thing. Here's my thing with DeBrusque. Why are we surprised? We had 7 years of evidence in Boston to see the type of player that he is. And did people think that when, I mean, first of all, Vancouver got their second choice, Jake, but did people think that when DeBrusque came to Vancouver that he was going to somehow elevate his game to a new level? Like, we'd seen 7 years of the type of player he is. Like, he's coming exactly as advertised. So I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but I'm just kind of like, oh, that's just DeBrusque just coming exactly as advertised. Like, I don't know. That's just me. So.
Yeah, there we go. Now Photoshop finally closed. Apparently it didn't actually fully close. I had to click on something. Anywho, I'm just taking a look at some more comments. I'm surprised there's still about 30 people in here between YouTube.
Oh
and
Lord, I'm so sorry.
No need to apologize for that. I did want to highlight this one from Harry. I guess he was talking about the whole Islanders thing. Yeah. All right, signed. I think Harry meant $6.8 million, not $68 million.
No, it's 68 because Horvat was 8 times 8.5.
Because if that was the case, he would be. Oh.
Yeah, it's the total.
Okay, yeah. That
the total amount.
Sorry,
right?
I had a brain fart. That does make sense.
How is it I don't have it at this point? I mean, I should be the one having the brain fart.
Yeah.
My brain's not alive at this time. It's like, Jesus, how is that still working?
Yeah, very, very true. did want to highlight this one. Urban, I could stomach the Marcus Pettersson trade if he was 3 years younger. Yeah, I probably could too. Stomach it a little bit better if he was a little bit younger.
I think if he was living up to the contract, but I think people were, like I said, I think not only were people surprised, but I think just how quickly he signed the extension. Like, what was it, weeks after the trade, he signs the extension, and we're like, okay, buddy, why?
Yeah.
I can't hear you, buddy.
Jones got some mic issues. Yeah.
Mic issues. I was going to say, I better let him talk because I'm doing too much of it.
It's all good. I'm just looking to see if there's anything else we could discuss. I was just looking through if I had any for any other.
I had to see if we're still live.
Here we go. Urban. Yeah. There we go. Fine. Oh. Looks like we just lost.
There we go.
There we go. Still can't hear you. Gee.
Oh God. I'm reading that now. Rachel Dory. No, she did that to herself. Sorry. My personal opinion.
Yeah.
Did that to herself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sorry, G. I see your mouth moving, but I don't hear any words.
This is brutal, man.
Oh man. I mean, for once, it's G who has the technical issues, not me.
Yeah. It's G and then as people are listening, they're like, "Oh my God, who's the 12-year-old on the radio?" No. Or like
he's probably gonna try and.
Or like someone said last night, I look like.
Although I'm not gonna go too much longer.
Oh,
it's almost 2.
Check.
Nope, now you're
Check.
muted.
Check. Hello.
Oh,
there we go.
Yay.
I don't know what the hell was happening. I had to go from these headphones to these headphones to this mic.
Nope.
It's I don't know. What happened to Rain? There we go.
Oh Jesus!
I apologize for the technical difficulties.
No. All good. I mean, I have my fair share, so no.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Wow, an hour and a half.
Good to see you, buddy.
This is crazy. An hour and a half. Thanks for whoever's still around. Obviously, Rain, thank you for jumping on such short notice.
Seems to be how it goes at this point. Seems to be how it goes at this point.
Whoever's watching, just know that Rain, it was last minute because when Tyler started the stream and I was watching the game at a friend's place and I just passed out. And then when I woke up, my phone was off and then immediately charged it and messaged Tyler, and he was already on the stream, did the chat, messaged Rain, and I was like, hey, can you hop on just for a quick minute? And this gentleman right here has just in a snap, he's like, give me a minute, let me set up and I'll do it. So I appreciate you, Rain. Like,
no worries, guys.
Yeah.
As long as I don't bore you to death, I guess that's
kind of saved my bacon. Since I didn't have a whole lot to talk about game wise.
I'll send you the bill, buddy.
I didn't watch a lick of it.
But I have to say that Tyler's holding his own. I was watching it right when my phone started having juice, and he was holding on his own, which is great. And I mean, come on, man. Like it's hard being a content creator and just being on your own and talking to yourself. And Tyler's improved that skill drastically ever since he first started. Just got to give him props for that. And Rain over here, he has this big brain that he needs to share with everyone. The only problem is he lacks confidence, and him and I chat a lot. And I'm not trying to I'm not trying to boost you or anything. I'm just telling you, man, straight up, like you have these takes, you have that knowledge, that octane 91 there that you did your research on, and we appreciate you. I appreciate you personally for having these takes. So have some confidence in yourself and just keep coming to these shows. Keep, jumping onto Clay's, jump here. And I'm going to do a plug really quickly. New channel coming out on the 4th. You're going to be one of the first people to come on. Tyler will hopefully, him and I will talk and we'll have him on too. But Rain, keep what you're doing, brother. Like, appreciate you. Just glad you're part of this community.
I have to show Tyler something before I do this, because I keep teasing this JT Miller convo, and I showed Irvin my notes. Just
Rain sent them to me.
give you an idea. This is my list of all the red flags.
Holy shit.
So
Tyler, brother, you know what? You're missing out, brother, if you don't make some time for Rain, because Rain and I have been talking, and we're brewing something up. So when we open up, and if you don't snatch up Rain, that whole page on his iPad is going to be on my channel, new channel, rather than yours.
And by the way, I've added to it since I've shown you.
Shit,
I've
okay.
added to it.
There's some good takes when I went through it and read it, and I was like, wow, okay. This is some good shit.
And it's not even like points where it's like disagree or agree or whatever. It's like I could point out like red flag. I like it's one of those things where I'm good at pointing them out to everybody else, but when it comes to me, that might be a bit of a challenge that I work on. But it's like I will rip out your jugular. If it comes to, bro, you.
Yo, if there's anything that Tyler and I do on this stream that you don't, you see these red flags, please come to us first. and before ripping us up, especially the new channel coming out, if there's anything that's said, please come to me first. You have my number, message me and be like, hey G, I don't like this. I don't like this. Okay, cool. Let's set something up. Let's do a.
I don't think I'd be that much influence. No, but I will say this: it will not be like a Jordan versus Russell where it's pigeons squabbling in a parking lot over a chicken rotisserie carcass.
Bro, like, I wish you didn't bring that up, because
That was
man, like,
that was
Well,
man,
sorry.
like,
That was
okay.
good.
As an apathetic person, that's how it came across as. It's like, oh,
Okay.
This makes me glad I don't do this for a living.
Okay, Rain, you were at that stream. It was a Friday night. We're talking about PD. We're talking about, if he's underperforming, there's these scenarios. Well, let's not say scenarios. There are these factual events that happened in his life. And I obviously shit the bed and was misinformed from whatever I read, whatever that I saw online. And afterwards, when Russell came on and called me out on it, I felt like an asshole.
Yeah.
So please tell me what you thought, how the stream ended.
Oh God, I have to rewatch it now.
Okay, so what happened was Russell jumped back on.
Oh, okay.
After
I missed
Okay.
this part. I'll be honest. I didn't watch most of it because I'm one of those people where I'm like, oh God, if this is just gonna be a whole lot of nothing, and I mean not that it was a whole lot of nothing, but I'm like, this just doesn't. I don't know. I don't have a side, so I'm kind of like, whatever. Because here's my thing with the whole 11.6. Are you pissed at Pettersson for taking it, or are you pissed at management for giving it to him?
Very true. Because
here's
it's
the
definitely
thing.
on management. It's definitely on
Here's
management.
the thing. If you're shitting on Pettersson for taking that contract, that is real easy to say when we're not being handed $92 million to do our dream job. Sorry, that's just saying. Like, you're telling me you wouldn't take that money? Like, live now, think later. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm being paid $92 million to do my dream job. Like, fuck yeah. Like, where's the contract? So
it's bank, man. Like, it's money. Whatever
where do I
give it to
sign?
me,
Yeah.
I'll take it. I just take it,
exactly.
right? I don't give a shit what you say. Whatever haters
that's not how I feel. I'm more on the side
are out there. Whatever. Good on him. He made bank.
If people are going to be critical of Pettersson for his play at 11.6, well, be pissed with management for giving it to him. Because they did it out of fear. It wasn't because they wanted to keep him. They did it out of fear.
And what's wrong with management is you know those rumors that were circulating with Carolina, and they used it as leverage and saying, hey, if you're not going to sign, we have a deal in place for you. Mm-hmm. Like, that is such a, as much as there are a lot of hits, these bets, I call them bets, that management took, and they all paid out in 23-24. This is one of the bets that didn't pay out.
No.
Like, people are pissed off at it, right?
Remember when
remember
when Ilya Mikheyev was the sore thumb, or what stuck? Stuck, when people loved Alvin in their honeymoon phase. Like, good Lord.
There's always going to be a scapegoat each year.
Yes.
So if it's not Mikheyev, it was Kuzmenko. If it wasn't Kuzmenko, it would have been.
There's always something, because nothing ever goes perfectly.
Yeah,
but, I mean,
it would have been Eriksson, that 6x6, and PD's getting that same treatment. So look at it. It's a whole cycle. It's a vicious cycle that it's because we're in Vancouver. I'm sorry, I'm wearing a Jets jersey right now because I think Jets did a phenomenal job. I mean, they won the Presidents last year. They're going to be another team that's going to be added to. You win the President's Trophy and you don't make the playoffs the next year. Same thing as like the Rangers, etc. But Winnipeg's management, Winnipeg knows what they're doing. It's just a shit year. Everything's not gelling. I don't know. Taves might even be shipped off at the trade deadline. Who knows?
Oh,
right?
I doubt that. I doubt that.
I mean, if someone offered them something and was like, hey, they're dangling something. Hey, we'll take Taves. Come on. They're not going to say no, man.
No, that's
seriously.
True. But I just wondered if Taves would actually do it. That's the part where I kind of wonder. But I see the point. I see the point you're making, though. I do see it. So, and right. I mean, like I said earlier, centermen go for more than what we think they're gonna go for. I mean, like I said, I think Bluger might get a second round pick. I
don't know. If he played well in the Olympics, yeah. I mean, David Camp definitely upped his value, but he's not getting a second. He might get a fourth.
Camp gets you anything, because you could have had Camp 3 months ago.
No. But he played well in the Olympics. But you also have, there's like an asterisk to that. He played with a pretty good core in Germany. Like, I mean, look at you're
the expert for the Olympics, because I don't pay attention. If I'm being totally honest, I don't pay attention to the Olympics. I mean, I did watch some of the hockey, and I said this last night on Clay's show. This is how much my workplace did not care about the Olympics other than the hockey, because the only conversation that came up during the Olympics was the Norwegian biathlon skier who confessed to cheating on his girlfriend of 6 months. Like, that's the only thing of interest. And I mean, first of all, bro, miss me with that. I've had milk last longer than his relationship. Like, okay, get out of here with that. Two, it wasn't 6 months. Like, because if you're cheating 3 months into the relationship, but you only told her a week ago or a week before because you felt guilty, well, you didn't feel guilty those other 2 months and 3 weeks now, did you? And then
No,
also,
that backfired on his ass quick, man. It was like, why?
But also, for a sport that, because first of all, I did not know what biathlon was until yesterday. But for a sport that involves a gun, it turns out that the most dangerous asset that man could carry is his own fucking mouth. Like, that is the most dangerous thing that man could carry because he shot himself in the foot. And the worst part is that was the news story, even though even though his fellow countryman won gold, nobody gave a shit about that because all they talked about was this loser blasting. They talk about this loser who's like, I lost the love of my life. It's like, shut the fuck up. You didn't ask her to tell you on national television to do this. And the only thing that's worse than being cheated on is having the entire world and their dog know about it.
No, did you see the interview that she did anonymously and saying that, oh man, I feel so bad for that girl, man. It's just
and
this
now
guy's
lose. That woman is now in a lose-lose situation because if she takes him back, then she's an idiot for getting back with a cheater of a whole 6 months. And if she doesn't take him back, then she's a jerk because look at this guy publicly groveling and embarrassing himself. Like he's willing to put himself out there for you to tell you how much he loves you. So she can't win no matter what he does.
Yeah, that's a tough one on her.
Because here's the thing: if you publicly humiliate them, or like if you humiliate your spouse in public, then yes, you gotta humiliate yourself. Like you gotta grovel in public. But that was a private situation, and now the entire world knows.
Just because he won a medal, it doesn't give him the right to like.
First of all,
you know what?
First of all, that man won bronze. If he had won gold, maybe I'll give it 3 seconds of thought. But
no, but it went over to his head, right? And it's the fact that he is I mean, we're all emotional at some point, and to want to celebrate with her after winning, I give that to him. But it's not a place at a press like to air your dirty laundry at a press conference.
No,
right?
This wasn't a situation in which he wins a medal on bronze or wins bronze at the Olympics and then was so excited that he felt the need to cop a feel in the Olympic Village. Like if that was the case, then I would almost like give that a pass because it's like, bro, you won bronze, like go get laid. But you cheat 3 months into a relationship. That means you were only faithful for 3 months. Like, I don't know, like how laissez-faire and in love were you after 3 months? It's like, Jesus.
Well, they always say, you don't treasure it until you lose it, and that's what happened to this guy. So, yeah. Sorry. Back to the Olympic point. Not an expert. I just watched a lot of the games. Another player in the Canucks system that we took management took a bet on was none other than Lucas Reichel, who was the who was the wingman to Draisaitl, and this guy, oh my! I don't know if you watched any of the Germany games, but this guy had. Here, I'm gonna pull up the stats, but because he was playing with Draisaitl, I don't even know how many assists. The guy was scoring goals. He had at least a couple of goals that I saw personally. And I was like, what the hell? Like, what's going on here? Like, either Germany has a really terrible team or, he just wasn't utilized. So, hey, I'm calling it right here, right now. Don't be surprised if there's calls on Reichel. Especially for a contender who can use, some depth, like a fourth line, energy kind of thing. Like Reichel played pretty well in the Olympics, and it's a low risk, high reward kind of thing. if someone offered the Canucks, say like a 6th round pick or future considerations for hell, would you take it? Take him off for books, man. He's an Abbey doing nothing. He's looking for a trade anyways. So
I mean, we got like 10 days to find out if what the interest level is. So, but yeah, no, I watched very little. Maybe not even 10 days.
No, bro. You know what? Watching the Canucks game tonight, this is what I wanted to say. Like while I was watching this game, I was like, man, I already miss Olympic hockey. It's like, and I'm like, when is it the next time? 4 years from now.
Well, this blows my mind. So if it's true that in 2030 they're going to be playing the hockey games in a soccer stadium, that is going to suck from a broadcast perspective.
Yeah.
Like, good Lord, because apparently, if it's true, it's a soccer stadium that's going to have 2 ice rinks in it, like back to back. Like there's a wall that splits in between. That is going to suck from a broadcast perspective. I mean.
Yeah, I mean that definitely would be, but at the same time, look at the those stadium series or the whatever outdoor series.
Oh, that's
the
true.
turnout is crazy.
I would never attend one of those, but I would never watch one live. But I see the point you're about to make. So
right? I mean, come on, for God's sakes, Florida pulled it off. They had an outdoor game in Florida, and their temperature is higher than Vancouver.
Yeah,
so if Florida, they can pull that shit off,
the state where you can adopt any animal you want.
Let's not go there. Let's not go to the Florida stuff. But I mean, I'm just saying geographically, if Florida can host an outdoor game and they have a turnout like that, I'm sure the Olympics are able to do it. And it would be very interesting to see, having 2 games at the same time and having some wall between, so you pay for a ticket, do you get to see both games at the same time? Or what happens to the other sheet of ice when the other team is playing?
I mean, it is
right?
in France.
So
yeah, it is in Nice, France.
Yeah. It's going to be very interesting, but you know what? It's just speculations. I don't see it happening. They'll have a dedicated arena or 2 arenas for this.
Look at
the host country will need the money.
Well, I mean, look at the shit show Milan was like, getting that ice rink built to the last minute. So, which this is what I don't get. You've known for 7 years you were hosting it. It's not like you put it in 6 months ago. You put them in 7 years. Know 7 years in advance. And this is the other thing I also said this last night. I think a lot of these cities that host it, like it used to be like 10 cities would pitch in bids to host the Olympics. Like you would get like 10 bids or whatever. Now it's like 2 or 3. And it's because I think a lot of these cities sell false hope that they can be financial successes when really at the end of the day, they're just economical disasters for their respective cities.
Oh, they are.
Rio de Janeiro, like that city's that they're still like it's an absolute mess. A decade later, it's an absolute mess over in Brazil, a decade after hosting the Summer Olympics. So I just think that there's always false hope with these cities that do host it. Although I do find it rich that Vancouver supposedly put in a bid for 2030, but didn't ultimately get it. So.
No, but I mean, look at Vancouver in 2010 and getting that. I think there were a lot of people, there were a lot of lobbyists against having Olympics here.
Oh, yes.
Right? I don't know if you remember that.
I was pretty young. I mean, I have the 2010 photo of the men's Canadian hockey team. I do have that photo in my house, but yeah, I was pretty young, but yeah, it was that was something else. Although, my God, how is my brain still working?
Yeah, man, Rain. It's like almost 2:20 and you're still up. It's quite rare. So thank you for doing this. Tyler, do you have anything? Because I'm looking at StreamYard right now. I don't see the X stuff. Is there no comments on X? Because there's still viewers on X. I'm pretty sure right now.
No, I don't see any.
For me personally,
yeah, there's still 30 viewers on on X,
Oh God. Shut up this 12.
but I don't see any comments. So
Yeah, because I mean, Tyler,
yeah, I'm
you and
glad you
I,
guys
we
brought
can
up
talk.
Olympic
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, because you didn't do much of the Olympics at all the last couple of weeks. But the Olympics, with
No.
exception of the finals, like the bronze medal game and the gold and silver medal game, I was pretty impressed. Given the ice was about 3 feet short, players adapted really quickly. Games were good. Refereeing was atrocious. It was the worst refereeing I've ever seen in my life. Like, especially the gold medal game. I don't know if you guys watched that game. They missed
I watched
too
the first
many.
period. Yeah, watched the first period. That was it.
They missed a goddamn too many men like penalty. There's also the Finland game against Canada when they went up and they had 6. Count it.
Oh, I do remember
6.
this. They had 6 players on the ice.
6
Everybody
players.
missed it. Everybody missed
6
it.
players celebrating after a goal.
That's embarrassing.
And how does that even work?
That's embarrassing. How do you miss that?
Exactly. So
Everybody missed
it's not one. It's not
Everybody
one
missed
game. It was 2 games. Even in the gold medal game, there was it was the U.S.
Yep.
had 6 players on the ice. The puck went over. The player could have chosen not to play the puck, and that's fine. I'll give that to you. You had 6 people on, but you didn't play the puck. I don't know what goon on the U.S. team was there. He actually played the puck, and no penalty was called. Imagine if there was a penalty that was called, that the Canadians were on the power play, and they were the top power play team of the Olympics.
Yeah.
Do you think it would have gone to overtime? Do you think it would have gone to this 3-on-3 bullshit that is
2010
like
was
a
4-on-4
coin toss?
2010
Yeah,
was
I would
4-on-4.
much.
But
I would
say
have much
this-
rather
I
a
will say this
4-on-4.
though, too. I will say this as well. The thing we have to remember is everything at the Olympics is planned to the second. You can't have a game go on forever in the gold medal game. Like the closing ceremonies were in less than 3 hours. You got to figure out a way to end that game like that if it goes to overtime. So we can bitch all we want about 3-on-3 overtime. You also have 2 of the best players in the world that play on Team Canada that couldn't score. So
No, you had 4. Actually, yeah, you had 4 of the best players on a power play, and you couldn't score a goal.
no.
And I'm not saying this is no in disrespect to Hellebuck, who won that goddamn Medal of Freedom or whatever the hell it was.
Oh,
So we'll get to that, Rain. I know you have your take, but
Lord.
you can't
Actually,
score
I
on him
don't-
on a power play.
I'm not going into politics. I'm not going into that.
Yeah, good, because I wasn't watching the stream, and I was talking to Swervin like just before jumping back on, and he was telling me he was on Clay's stream at the end. Apparently there was like a open mic session of some sort, and he talked a little bit about it, or he was about to,
Oh god.
but he held back, and I was like, bro, don't do it. Don't do it.
No. If there's, I could tell you, I work in a place. I work at a union. Yeah, we don't talk politics. That's just not a thing we do. Which is ironic because my dad gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning every morning to like listen to whatever news is on Trump. Which, mind you, this is a man who vowed that he was never going to pay attention to Trump when he got elected the second time, and it's like, yeah, that went flying out the window after about 30 seconds. So.
Yeah, well, the second term has really fucked the world. So I don't really want to talk too much about Trump, but
get away from it.
Best of luck to America, our cousins, our neighbors. And we will not be the 51st straight. We will not be the 51 state.
Because I've always viewed Hellebuck as, this is a guy who can't get it done in the playoffs. Like, he's only had one run to the conference final in his career. That was going on 8 years ago now. Does this gold medal...
And he got beat by Vegas?
Yeah. Does this gold medal win... Does it change your opinion? Because it doesn't for me. No. I agree. Thank you. I got to see in the playoffs in order to be convinced at this point. Because here's the difference. that gold medal win for Team USA, you're playing with some of the best players in the world. You got the best Americans around you when you're playing that game. That's a lot different than your team in Winnipeg, who currently isn't a playoff spot.
Oh, they're not going to make it, man.
No, so the point that I make is I got to see a long playoff run again in order to have my opinion changed.
No, let me throw this to you, because you said you only watched the first period. I don't know if you watched the replays. Tyler, I don't know if you watched the game, but to be very honest, Canada probably played the best game all Olympics. That gold medal game was probably one of the best games that they've played without Crosby. And if you ice the same guys on this team and you did a 7-game series, there's no way in hell that US would have won. So with that said, does that change my views towards Hellebuyck? No, because if it was a 7-game series for the gold medal, US does not win. I'll tell you that for free.
No, I agree. Oh, I do have one Olympic take. Troy Ryan, he cannot coach the 2030 women's Canadian team. He cannot be behind the bench.
And why is that?
Well, the fact that there was so much criticism of Troy Ryan for coaching the Canadian women's team, I mean, basically playing only 9 forwards and 4 defenders for most of the tournament. And that team is, boy, can you tell the difference when Marie-Philippe Poulain's not playing. Boy, can you tell the difference between those two. But I just think, there was so much criticism. And one of the things I remember, too, when that Canadian team was announced, the women's team, I remember there being criticism of, wow, this is an old team. There's a lot of young talent that they did not bring that maybe they really should have brought. Because that U.S. team that's going to be the same U.S. team that comes in 4 years. I mean, minus Hillary Knight, who's already said this is her last Olympics. But that's largely going to be the same U.S. team we see in 2030. Canada's going to be a lot different in 2030. And I think there's a lot, and not that I paid that much attention to the PWHL, but I like to keep up with it. There's a lot of young talent they should have brought to.
Oh, there's so much.
There's so much young talent they should have brought. I'm sorry. That you cannot tell me that was the best team in 2026. You cannot tell me, or you cannot convince me that was a team. But I think Troy Ryan can't be, and it might be Troy Ryan and Gina Kingsbury who may face the consequences. But I think in the very least, I don't think it can be Troy Ryan in 2030. Because, I mean, the Toronto Scepters are not good this season either. I mean, they're a team that's really struggling as well. So,
no, look at Sarah Nurse and what she did the whole Olympics.
Yeah,
I think she had 1 assist.
Yep.
And this is someone that was a star because of Team Canada.
Yep.
And then went to PWHL and was rocking it. And even
Nurse on Vancouver, man, can you tell the difference when Sarah Nurse wasn't playing? Like, it kind of feels like when, with Poulin with Team Canada and Nurse with the Vancouver Golden Knights. It's almost kind of like when both of them are out of the lineup, everybody's playing too high up. Like they're playing a role that is too much for them. But then as soon as those players come back, now you're in a role that makes more sense.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Who was your second? Who was your 2C? Who's your 2C for Vancouver Canucks a while ago? David Kampf. He was actually 2C for Germany. So, who knew?
I mean,
God damn it! You know what? Sorry, I got to talk about the game today. This is the post game show for the Canucks and Jets. I'm wearing my Jets jersey. Dude, David Kampf, I was sold on because of the Olympics. And he had such a great chance in, I have it somewhere here, 1803. 1803 of the third. Did a nice wraparound. Couldn't even flick the goddamn puck up into the net. Like, it would have been, like, I'm sorry, I'm wearing a Jets jersey, but I'm wearing a Canucks hoodie underneath. I will always be cheering for the Canucks to win. It's not because I'm anti-tank out to someone, but I wanted them to do well, right? And Camp could have gotten them up, and they didn't. But I gotta say, I love the Garley, Bluger, and Ogren line. That was the best line for the whole team, the whole game. Like it was money. I mean, I don't know. I can't say that they got any points out of it, but it was a really good third line. Like that, they outplayed the rest. Kane and Petey showed some effort. Something I have to say, because I shit on him so much, and I shit on Canada too, because at the gold medal game, and I was saying they had the best 4 out of 5 players. The reason why I say 4 out of 5, because Taves was my whipping boy for Team Canada, because he messed up so many times during the gold medal game.
Oh, that was the other thing. Like, because my brother did watch, and his criticism was, it was the defense. He's like, you can't tell me these were the 6 best defensemen that they could have brought.
Like, like it just pissed me off, like what Taves did, like just fumbling the puck and just, yeah. Anyways, let's not go there. But what I wanted to say is the reason why I said that is because when I was watching the Olympics and watching the Team Canada power play, it looked like the Canucks on ice, and I'm like, huh, who's coaching Team Canada? Like this power play is atrocious. It's garbage. But anyways, let's move on. Tonight's game, Petey actually was shooting on the power play. Philip Hronik was also shooting on the power play. So that gave me a breath of fresh air. Like what I was trying to say is make these games entertaining. I mean, if it's Team Tank, great. You know, you lose some, you win some. Let's lose more than you win, right?
That's my thing. I got 2 games I got going to coming up. I go to the Carolina game next week, mainly to go slam my face in buffet tables and sushi bars and drinks. And then I go to
At Encore?
No, at Rogers Arena. I'm up in the Madri Lounge.
What is that, like 500s?
Yeah, Club 500.
500, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do that with one of my coworkers, and then I go to Fan Night on April 14th against LA. I want a watchable product. That's all I want more than anything else. I mean, I did say to my coworker, like, you need to slam the buffet tables. Like the guy I'm going with got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat buffet at 10 for eating too much bacon. Like, I need to reach that level of obscurity to the point where a staff rep says to me, Mr. Winslow, you may never bring this guest with you again. Like, I want to reach that level.
No, I mean, as much as I think Aquilini is really stingy, I've been up to 500. They're not that bad. Like they'll let you do it. So don't worry about it. If anything, if I'm going to that game, maybe sneak me some food down to the lower bowl. Or the up.
I mean, the 14th, I'm not in Club 500. I just got one of like those cheap nosebleed seats. So if you go, I'm sure you'll find me somewhere.
Yeah. Hey, don't want to disclose where you actually live, but what area are you? I thought you were
I'm Thompson.
I'm
Thompson, Okanagan.
Oh, okay. So you're driving down here for those 2 games?
Yes.
Okay.
The one on March 4th, I'm going with a coworker. Like that one, that's just like an overnight trip. But the one on the 14th, it's kind of like a pit stop. That game, because I go to the island for vacation for a week. So.
Okay. Let us know when you're in town. I would love to meet you in person, because this is the only way that we've actually interacted, and you know, I think highly of you. So if you're ever in town, let us know. And if I'm in town, I'm definitely going to meet you.
Yeah, I'm in town.
Sorry, say that again. More than you'd like to. No, but just let us know, or you know, let me know, and I'll let the guys know, and maybe we could you know, organize something and meet up.
Sounds good to me. As long as I don't disappoint. But no, I'm kidding.
Stop saying that. You know what? That you're just trying to bring attention to yourself, Rain. You're better than that. Okay.
Well, as my grandpa says, I wasn't gonna win with looks, so I gotta have a sense of humor to keep people around. So
Well, you definitely got us to the edge of the seats. So
yeah, shooting yourself in the foot while opening your own mouth—that's hilarious. No.
okay, cool. Anything else? I mean, I haven't been here as long as you guys, but anything else that we should cover before, because it's running on 2:05. I'm pretty sure it's a lot more than what Tyler expected.
Sorry.
Going from no sidekick to having 2 extra people on the stream and keeping it running strong. We actually gained a few viewers, which is interesting. So any other topics that we should talk about since we have the 3 of us here?
Where are you on the Hirona captain thing?
Love it. I do.
Yeah,
I'll be honest. I love it.
I'm open for it. I'm open for it.
I'm open for it as well, but I will say this is like the third role.
Especially with Myers potentially being moved.
I'm open to it. I think this is also the third third role that Hironic's taken, and I think it's the second thing the Canucks have incentivized with. I think it's more of an incentivification. And what I mean by that is, this was my thing with Hironic. First of all, I think when the Canucks first acquired him, I don't believe the original plan was ever to play Hughes and Hironic Taylor. That was never supposed to be the plan. I mean, we never saw it in the 5 games that Hironic was there in 22-23. We never saw it during the 23 preseason. It wasn't until the regular season that we finally got to start. And then his role changed when the extension was signed. Now, Canucks and Alan Walsh would never admit that this is true. And I have no evidence to suggest this. This is just my own thought. I bet one of the selling points that the Canucks made to Hironic is, you're going to now be the Devon Toews for Quinn Hughes. Because there's a reason we've seen that with Toews and Makar. As much as you hate it at the Olympics, that's the pair we've seen forever in Colorado, Toews and Makar. And I think with Hironic, they gave him the same pitch. They left out the part where Quinn Hughes wasn't going to stick around. But anyways, and again, I don't think it's a coincidence that their cap hit's the exact same. They got the exact same cap hit. I don't think that's by accident. And so now that Hughes is gone, they have to incentivize him in some kind of way. And so what better than dangling the captaincy? And also, again, I don't think it's a coincidence that now we're seeing Hironic talk to the media more ever since the Hughes trade went down. I don't think that's a coincidence.
No, but the problem is, do you think Hironic actually wants captaincy?
No,
because he always wanted to be low key. He didn't want to talk to reporters. There was a report, when he was traded to Vancouver, he didn't like reporters. He never talked to reporters in Detroit.
There were
Vancouver,
also reports that he was upset with his role getting diminished because they have this kid named Moritz Seider before the trade to Vancouver came down. So
he wasn't that clutch in the Olympics, just so you know. But yeah, I mean, him talking, like, it doesn't even matter if you talk to the media or not. Like, okay, I'll go out and say this. Like, Vancouver media is quite toxic, and it's
100%,
and it's
100%,
and they try to hoop you in, especially if you're players. And he's one of those people that'll be calling out your bullshit.
Yeah,
be like, next. Not answering that question. That's stupid. So it's the reason why I think it'd be a breath of fresh air is, you actually have a captain that's not going to take bullshit and just be
I got a point
Yeah.
to add. So this is why I could never be a journalist. And I actually thought this do you remember the first post-game press conference Quinn Hughes gave after the trade? It was after his debut.
No.
Okay. So the reporter asks a question about, Rutherford and Patrick Allvin. It was something along the lines, but both names were in the question. So Quinn Hughes goes on for a good minute or whatever, talking about Jim Rutherford, and then he mentions Aquilini in there. But Patrick Allvin never came up in the answer. Now, if I were a journalist, I would be saying, okay, that's a minute of my life I can't get back, because I asked you about Patrick Allvin, and you totally ignored it, because he did this thing. I don't know what you call it, but it's used in debating, which is when when you're asked a question that you're not particularly
It's
well
distraction.
well,
It's
this is
the act
what-
of distraction.
Well, what it is it's called the secondary subject. So when you're presented a question that you're not very well versed in, you look for what's called the secondary subject. So you look for something to where, okay, I know a little bit more about this. It may not be the main point. Actually, it isn't the main point. Otherwise, it would defeat the purpose. And you ramble on about it for a good minute or however long you're talking about it in hopes that the person who asked you the question is going to forget what the original question was. So he's hoping by going on about Rutherford and Aquilini that the reporter's just going to forget about the fact that Patrick Alvin was originally in the question because he doesn't respect him. Because if he did, he would have mentioned him.
I mean, even when he left Vancouver, he didn't thank Alvin. I don't remember seeing it.
No,
So he's not quite fond.
No, not in his statement or anything like that. He doesn't respect him.
It feels like he's just the puppet to JR. Like I don't see it any other way.
I don't know if you heard me
like the Quinn Hughes trade, he was busy with something else. What else are you busy with rather than trading your goddamn captain?
This earlier, but I said to Tyler that if Patrick Alvin is the king of word vomit, Jim Rutherford is the grandfather.
I did hear that.
Yeah, you did. I mean, is there another way to put it?
No, but back to the topic of Hronik. I think aside from the non-bullshit taking from the player interviews and articles that I've read, he's been super supportive of a lot of the young kids and their development. So to have him as a leader that someone can go to, like he looks like someone that'll bite your head off, but at the same time he's willing to help out the next generation, and it's something that the Canucks actually need. So to be honest, you look up like from top to bottom of the Canucks, who else could be captain? There's people.
Patterson's too controversial. Besser's a beta pushover. That's the best way.
And then there's like another one that people have been rooting for was Myers, who's about to be traded apparently. So there's really no one else. So by default, it kind of is going to be Hronik. Yeah, but it is Hronik. Even if it's a default, I think it's fine. I think it's a good decision to lead the new core. You have Buem who can be mentored by Hronik for sure, and the rest of the kids. Apparently, just before the Olympics, there was an article. Can't remember who it was from. It might have been Patrick Johnston from the province, saying it was Ogren Hogs talking highly of PD and saying how he was really supportive and teaching them stuff, et cetera, et cetera. But I look at it as
don't take any stock.
It's your country.
That. I don't.
It was your countrymen talking about your countrymen. So
sorry.
Yeah.
I don't take any stock with that. I don't. I'm sorry, because there's evidence otherwise that. And I mean, Pettersson's going to find himself in the same situation JT Miller is at some point if he doesn't get going. So.
Well, there are the rumors that are the rounds that are going around with LA because Fiala got injured in the Olympics, and they sorely need someone if they're going to compete in the playoffs. And who knows, a PD Kuzi reunion. Both of them played amazing together. So who knows if the Canucks either take some assets back, like some cap space back, or they retain. I could see something like that happening. But in terms of capital wise, like asset wise, I think Detroit would probably be the better fit because of what they can give up to Vancouver for PD. We did talk. I think you guys talked a little bit on the stream about it, but yeah, just want to throw my 2 cents.
A little bit. Boy, I have to sleep on that one to think about it.
Yeah, because LA doesn't
Irvin
really
and I
have
have
the
been
assets.
Yeah, Irvin and I have been talking lately, and we've been trying to cook up some stuff. So he asked me a question that I'll share with you guys is, what do you believe? Like, you know what? Management has thrown this whole rebuild or this, mouth
I'm
vomit
air quotes on that.
of
I'm
this
I'm air
mouth
quotes on
vomit
that.
of rebuild on the hybrid retool or some bullshit like that. He asked me, he's like, what do you think of that? And the way I see it is, I don't fully believe it's going to be a rebuild until PD gets traded to get a fresh start somewhere else, and the team needs a fresh start here. Because once you trade that last peg, it's going to be a full rebuild. The only reason why it's a hybrid is because we still have PD. So unless they actually trade him, then it's always going to be a hybrid. It's always going to be finding options that can complement him or to get him going or whatnot. So yeah, I feel like if the rumors are correct and somehow a trade gets done, then yeah, I'll believe in the full rebuild. If not, then it's gonna be the same mushy bullshit, or hopefully they'll finish last again next season and get a high pick. But like I said, and I've preached this so much, even though you finish last in the league doesn't mean you get first overall.
Nope.
So
Look at Buffalo.
like-
Look at Buffalo with 2015 when they were trying to tank, and that did not work. So, but I got to tell you, I still don't think that management thinks they need to do a rebuild. I still don't think so, because here's the thing. Have we heard them directly say in front of a camera the
No.
word rebuild? See, that's my point. We've heard it secondhanded. We've heard it secondhanded through a journalist or through a reporter, but we've never seen them come out on camera and actually use that word. We've never seen
It was
it.
a press release that said rebuild, but
That's still not the same as coming out on camera, because then we can analyze the body language and see if you're really telling the truth. Like that's my favorite thing about body language is you cannot control it. So we would know then if you're really telling the truth, if you're actually serious about doing a rebuild. But I mean, remember, this was a team that won 3 games after the Quinn Hughes trade, and that's when we got the retool on the hybrid. So
it was on Prime. It was on Prime Monday Night Hockey.
Yep.
I still remember that. That was such a terrible, I was watching that interview. I think it was the second intermission. I was like, what? What did you just say? Hybrid? What?
That's not an English as your second language excuse. Like, no. That's not a, like you've been in America. You've been in America long enough. You've been speaking English long enough. Like, that's not a English as your second language. Like, that was totally said with purpose. But that's the point that I make, though, is that I think also, at least for me, we've seen the Rangers twice now not only put out press releases, we've seen the press conference where they're announcing they're doing a rebuild. I think that's what I want in order to really convince me that you're actually going to rebuild. We need a press conference. I need Accolade to not be a fucking bitch boy hiding behind a camera, because where's he in all this? Like, I'm sorry, you cannot be the owner of one of the biggest hockey markets in the world and not say anything. I'm sorry, you can't.
Yeah, wait. I gotta call you out on this. You said Vancouver's the 3rd biggest hockey market.
Well, it's one of the biggest. It's one of.
It's definitely not the 3rd. It's definitely not the 3rd.
So let's see, Toronto, Montreal. Who's next?
Are you talking Canada?
Yeah.
Just in Canada? Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
If it's just in Canada, then fine.
Yeah, I should clarify that. Yeah, no, we're talking Canadian. If we're talking Canadians, yes.
Yeah, because if it was the whole NHL, then no.
No.
If it's Canada, yeah, that's still borderline. Edmonton, I want to say
Edmonton,
is
you guys here with
huge.
Calgary though. Edmonton's here with Calgary though. So
No, but if you, dude, have you ever been to Oilers game? It's
I have.
nuts,
I've been
man.
to 2 of them. Oh, yeah, it's fucking
It's
insane.
nuts, man.
It's insane.
nuts. Like Bro, like you look at the 50-50, just looking at the 50-50 alone,
Oh, it's
the
ridiculous.
amount of money that these Albertans throw in for this. Like our biggest jackpot is like $1 million.
Yeah.
Dude, go to Edmonton. Go to Edmonton and look
yeah.
at
It
what
was
their
like- it was
jackpot
like-
is every
It was
game.
like I think it was like $4 million the night that I went. And it was a Friday night against the Arizona Coyotes, and that went for like $2 million. But this
Yeah,
is what
exactly.
But
So-
here's what blows my mind. Okay, so I've been to a game in Seattle. That 50-50 was $10,000. I've seen more money at a Kamloops Blazers Western Hockey League junior game go for more money.
Well, you know what they say about the West Coast in America, right?
But that just blew my mind. It's like $10,000. Are you fucking kidding?
God, look
I'm
at their
wearing stuff
mascot
that's
for
more
God's
expensive
sakes.
than that. No. No, I'm kidding.
Look at their goddamn mascot for God's sakes. Like
Oof.
why?
Oh Lord. I
It
will
looks
say,
like
though,
a
the best-
demented It looks like a demented Teletubby, man.
Oh, 100%. Oh God. I can never look at Teletubbies the same way ever again after that. But I will say though, for me, best hockey arena I've ever been in, Bell Center, Montreal. I got to go to Centre Bell when I was out east. Best atmosphere I've ever been in. It was absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Like it
The
overtakes Vancouver any day. Like just
only thing that I have to say about the Bell Center, like it's the Mecca. To be honest, like it's the Mecca of Canadian hockey cities.
Yeah.
Like even more so than Leaf Gardens. The only thing is in Montreal, you can only go up. Like if you're upper bowl, like nosebleeds, you can only go up. You can't go back down until the intermission.
We were lower bowl. I took my brother there for his birthday, and his buddy's a half span, and so he's like, I gotta get something while I'm here, and he did not realize that when you get a beer, they open it like right there. So he's like, I'll take 2 beers, which were $20 a piece at that point. So they opened both, and he's like, oh, I guess I'm chugging both these then. And it's like, God, I gotta deal with your dingy ass all night. Thanks.
No. So when I brought up Edmonton, the reason why I brought up Edmonton and you said they share it with Calgary is Calgary still plays at the Saddle Dome. Calgary, if you go to a Flames game,
That new
don't go.
arena built.
No, wait. Yeah, but wait, don't go in a Canucks jersey.
No.
And secondly, it's the most economic arena of all the 32 teams.
Yeah.
Dude, they have hot dogs for $5. They have beers for under $10, probably like $6 beers. Like it's an old dingy, like run out 80s
I was gonna say that's
like
not
arena.
Edmonton you're saying that about. Like, because I remember being in Edmonton and it was like $30
But-
for a hot dog and pop. It was like something
But
absurdly ridiculous.
But Edmontonians are all about their hockey. It's all about their hockey. I mean, if you're in downtown, like I walked by is it Rexall Place?
Yeah.
Bro, you go outside and you look outside. Aside from Gretzky, the statue, you look at where they do their press conference. It is lit, man. And then they're connected to JW. Bro, that's what we need. Like if you imagine Vancouver having a revamp and there's a bridge that crosses the street on Pacific that goes over towards where usually Cirque du Soleil is. And if someone invests and builds like a hotel right there, you could have practice facilities right across the street.
Oh yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
But the only problem is Aquilini's will not invest in that because
Nope.
like aside from owning Rogers Arena, that land, the part right across the street, I don't know if it's still called it or it used to be called Plaza of Nations. And I think it's lease land. So the term lease land means like, you know what, the First Nations own the land and they lease it for you for 99 years. And after that, you have to return it to them. in the banking world, when I was working in banks, it's the hardest way of getting a loan for lease land.
Yeah.
So that's why the Aquilinis have not ventured into that area, is because they can't get the loans. They're looking, I mean, they have money. They're building apartments here, left, right, and center. Like even here in North Van, Seymour Village is built by the Aquilinis, which is weird because it is lease land. But, to go across the street and do that, is a bank willing to loan you the money to do that, to build all of that?
Yeah.
So you need like a huge ass like hotel brand that comes in and says, you know what, we're going to build a hotel here. And that is when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Hopefully someone comes back and rewatches this and hears what I say, because this is the shit that, no, seriously, like if you think about it straight up, from the real estate angle of it,
Yeah.
that is the only way the Canucks could get a practice facility that is close to the arena. But the Edmonton, the only reason why they had the bubble playoffs or that season in Edmonton is because of that.
Yeah.
Dude, they have I don't know how many sheets of ice across the street, and the practice facility is crazy. You could play in the practice facilities. You can also play at Rexall Place. Come on, man. Like Vancouver, it's time to like do something like that.
True. Yeah.
Cap that. Anyways, we're running to 2:30. Anything
We're right at
else?
3 a.m., buddy.
Yeah, 3 a.m. Yeah, it's perfect timing. So 3 a.m. would have been 2.5 hours. Any last thoughts? Let's cut it off.
Well, I guess I'll touch a little bit on the Olympics because you mentioned, I did a little bit of content. I think I did like a few games, but I didn't really get the views, so I kind of stopped. That's why I didn't really cover the gold medal game. So, sorry, I just got to mess up a little bit of. I was almost going to say liquid courage, but it's not alcohol.
Bro,
no,
that took you 23 minutes to cut in.
Views.
It took you 23 minutes to that thought was there when we were at 204. I know that. And Rain and I rambled off for another 20 minutes.
Whoopsies.
Yeah. No, that's all good. Okay. Yeah, no, I wasn't too happy with the views, so I kind of was like, not. And I have noticed a bit of a decline in views. I think the last week or two. So I was like, I'm not gonna do this. It's not really worth it. And I also didn't really watch any of the games because of the time difference. It really like messed with my work schedule. So, but hey, at least I tried to do it, and yeah. But
you took your shot, man. You took your shot.
The yeah. I didn't want to bring up the too many man thing, because as I kind of mentioned when I actually did the actual kind of game recap earlier, there was a fucking too many men on the ice penalty in this fucking game, and they called it.
No, but yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So
it is what it is, man. Like it's back to NHL hockey and their rules, but Olympics strictly, to be honest, like the referees are scared shitless anyways. Like it's such a big event. It's the big stage, and you don't want to make these stupid calls. Yeah, like the Jack Hughes penalty in the gold medal game, you have to call it, and because that was called, that's why Horvat's power play, that penalty was also called. But the difference is one lost a tooth and one didn't. That's why it was 4 minutes opposed to the 2 minutes that Canada got, which was still not enough. And Canada also didn't capitalize on a 5-on-3, which yeah, it was meant to be, man. Like I was talking with Clay yesterday too, and I said, anniversary of Miracle on Ice, well before we were all born,
Yep.
and it was meant to be, man. It took them 46 years to win a gold medal. We'll give it to them.
Yeah.
It's
Good
on you.
Did you think Canada was going to win forever? Like,
Yeah.
Did we think they were going to win forever? Like, it was bound to happen at some point. So,
don't be sad that the Canadian boys won a silver medal. They didn't lose the gold medal. They won a silver. So just look at it from that point of view, and I think everything will be fine. Just, me. I'm just trying to make the community more positive, and sometimes don't look at things from a standpoint where, it'll make you unhappy. Just look from a standpoint that
glass half full, not glass
exactly.
half empty.
So
Glass half full, never glass half empty.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm still sad. I'm still sad about the Blue Jays losing as opposed to this. So, there's that.
bro, spring training's already here, man. Let it go.
I've never watched a baseball game, but I found myself being like one of those parents in the stands.
I know. I
like,
just wanted to say
screaming.
that.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. I know Rain and I touched on this earlier, but I wanted to get your thoughts on it. G, did you see that Frank Cervelli bullshit earlier today?
No, I did not, but I heard you guys talk about it, and I didn't have time to look at it, but I can look at it now. But I mean, honestly, I've never been a huge fan of Cervelli.
I will say, thank God that this is unsure, because this is.
I haven't listened to the clip yet, but
you want to just play it here right now, quickly, if you can.
We'll see if we can. Yeah, if it works. Hopefully, it doesn't lag too much, if at all. Because like I said, I haven't actually listened to it. I've just seen I've seen the reaction more than anything else, because I don't. I think for me, I just see the reaction to it because I don't really necessarily care what the context is. I mean, it doesn't change the fact that I think Sarah Valley's a dick. So. Mm-hmm.
I mean, if Bublé's calling him out, there has to be some sort of reason.
Well, like I said, the fact he's never lasted a job, I think that says something.
I mean, I don't know if. Yeah.
So the post was about if you can't celebrate.
I think G is a little, but I don't know, Rain, if you're really into wrestling. But when I think of Cervelli, I'm like, who is this Rudy? Who, talks? It's like, know your role. And shut your fucking mouth. Basically, yeah.
Let's see if I can
find this here. Trying to get it to.
So I think it's talking about this. If you can't celebrate an Olympic accomplishment for and by the U.S., you're on the wrong side. Period.
Oh yeah,
that was the initial tweet that he got ripped about.
Yeah,
but then
when it became news last week, are proud of their country.
Yeah.
Even Gary Mason went after him. Even Gary Mason ripped him apart.
Right here.
Yeah.
God damn. Yeah, so that is
It was about Tim Thomas.
Yeah, about Tim Thomas. Yeah.
Yeah, but I kind of get it. I don't think we need to read any of this.
No.
But yeah, I mean, there's. Hello.
I was just about to say I'm too busy busy too looking at Sydney Sweeney. Sorry, Sam, if you watch this later.
Yeah, so I think it's just, yeah, let's just not get into politics.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I try not to.
Like, I mean, it's not like we're gonna get roasted or called out on
I mean,
this here.
I got no social media,
but let's just
so
try
I
not.
can't even read the comments, even if you do roast me. So
Yeah, so I mean, when I saw the post, that video on X about like when Hellebuck was honored for it, I was like, really? Like that's all I said, really? But that's and then if you go into the comments, it's people are ratchet, man. Like it's just you can see a lot of Canadians on there that were outraged at this, but
let me look.
there's
Hellebuck went, but Kyle Connor declined the invitation, so like he didn't go to the White House. So
yeah. I mean, if you watch the video itself, it like Trump was saying, he asked all the players who should be deserving of this. There's only one player on the team. Like everyone voted for him, this and that. Like, okay, that's fair. I mean, come on. Like Jack Hughes got high staked in the mouth and scored the game-winning goal. Why not him? Just because, I mean, true. Hellebuck did play quite the game, 41 saves, won the gold medal finally. Not that he's going to win anything here, but
I will say this. Can
yeah.
you let me play devil's advocate for a second. If Jeremy Swayman was the goalie who was in the gold medal game, do you think he would have gotten the Medal of Freedom even though he gave up that goal from center ice?
No.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Probably would have been Jack. Yeah. I mean, you know what? Jack deserves it. Jack deserves that game-winning goal. It was really tough. I mean, it was tough to watch, and it's also tough on the conscience of McCarr, McKinnon. I think McDavid was on.
McDavid was on the ice because he had just had the chance before it went the other way. So
it's very unfortunate. But Jack deserves it. He gave up a tooth for it. He got himself a gold medal because of that. Good on you guys.
Yep.
So not going to be negative, not going to be, like, I mean, at that point after the game, I was pretty choked, and I was looking at all the little what ifs here and there and calls and whatnot.
There were a lot of F-bombs dropped at the workplace, at my workplace. Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of F-bombs.
But I mean, if you're gonna look on the other side of the cup, like the other, half empty cup, you're not gonna be happy. Just be happy it happened. Just be happy we got to witness, a bunch of grown ass NHL men going at it.
First
Wilson
time in 12
getting
years
these
we've gotten
hits.
to watch the NHL players. First time in 12
It was
years.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Can't help but be happy for Huggy and Millsy too. Especially Huggy.
Okay, I'm glad you said that because I was just gonna be like, "Oh, Tyler." I wasn't gonna say anything because
I was gonna say thank you for the insert eye roll.
I mean, I was literally about to say.
I mean, in this screen right here, right now, we can't see that jersey hanging behind you.
I was gonna say, hey, at least Quinn didn't score.
Yeah, that would have been tough. But Quinn did get them. Quinn did
got the
get
overtime
them.
goal against Sweden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that, I'm not gonna bust on you for having that. But
that
jersey,
I am happy for Quinn. At least that.
Oh my God, we have Hangia here. That's crazy. At 3 a.m. we have another viewer leaving a comment. That's amazing. And God, our views actually have spiked. We got an extra 12 people. They like you, Rain.
Oh God.
Well,
Oh, is that what the difference is?
yeah, Huggy most significant. Yeah.
I mean, you keep having me
But
up like
I'm
this.
sorry to
I'll fall
say-
every time. No, I'm kidding.
We'll see what happens. But Tyler, man, like I don't want to say it, but I have to say it. Dude, JT was a ghost in the Olympics. I mean, the only thing, I mean, being a ghost is also okay. They had the best PK of the Olympics. And JT was actually on that, ironically, because of all these defensive mishaps that he had with the Canucks. But you know, they did a good job. Like the US PK was really good, and it continued to hold Canada. You know, they're the best power play off the sheet. So, you know, hats off to them. Anyways, last call. Whoever's in the chat, whoever's still watching this at 3:11 a.m. If you have any questions, comments, throw that in. We'll give you an extra 4 minutes, and then we'll cut it off. We gotta let the big brain get his rest. And we got to get Tyler to get some rest because he's had a long day. But if we don't get anything else, this is actually last thoughts. Guys, how are we gonna end this?
I don't know. It's your show, so.
It's not mine. It's not mine. It's this guy right here.
Well, I will say thanks for having me. Thanks for having me, guys. But,
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me too. You know, thanks for waiting
Always,
for me.
Always.
yeah, I always warn, like, whenever I go on,
Yeah.
it's gonna be longer.
I
than
will
what
say
you.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tyler. What did you?
I
what
mean,
were you
I didn't
saying?
watch, like I said, I didn't watch any of it, but I know Miller was a ghost. But hey, at least Miller wasn't a ghost at the their celebration thing. I did see stuff about him apparently being the life of the party at their little celebration that they had.
Well, you know what? JT in Vancouver has always been like he's been well liked in Vancouver, and like I had this TELUS salesperson or Rogers, I can't remember who it was, that came by and he was like telling me about JT Miller and stuff and how he partied with him and how it was a ton of fun. Like I don't doubt that. I think JT's a great guy. It's just he was brought up in a way where it's tough love, and PD couldn't take it. So, or maybe even management. Like, sorry, this is months, or maybe even a year after all of this, and PD couldn't take it. Like he couldn't be a professional. He couldn't be a professional about it, and it's a shame that JT's gone. Because honestly, I think if JT stayed in Vancouver, he wouldn't be as bad as he is in New York right now, and he's being really ridiculed and criticized and all of that. Like even by the New York fan base, it's very tough. Yeah, especially knowing that, you know, JT Miller's like he's a guy that wears his heart on his sleeve. You know, it's unfortunate right now, like, and to be thrown the captaincy for a team like that's during this rebuild, it's very tough. And then calling this season like no bullshit, and himself giving kind of bullshit. Like, I don't know if you watched any of the interviews that he does post games. He's just like, I don't know. Like, especially the one just before the Olympics. Like, it's tough, man. It's tough being that face of a franchise that has a huge, you know, it's if not the best or one of the biggest like markets in US. Like New York City, it doesn't get bigger than this. Like if Bell Center is the Mecca of Canada, Madison Garden is the Mecca of any sport, basketball, hockey, You know, even for artists, like concert wise, MSG, man, everyone wants to go to MSG. So you being that face of that team, it's very tough. So I mean, I feel it for him, and you know, it's nice. I mean, he gets to be in New York, but at the same time, he's just going to be exposed a lot more because of all the media. It's going to be worse than Vancouver. So that's why you see all of this out on socials. Anyways, I think we've hit that mark of 315. And we're at 245. Thank you, Rain, for joining us. Thank you for filling in before I came on. And Tyler, appreciate you always for letting me come on and just ramble about shit. But last word, I don't have any last words. That was it. Rain.
Thanks for having me. And miracle, my brain's still alive at 3 a.m.
Oh, we'll keep it running soon. We'll keep it running again at some point. But thank you for coming on again. And Tyler, just you know, the final stretch. See us off.
Yeah. Well, I echo exactly what G just said. Thank you, Rain, for coming on. Definitely saved my bacon, you know, because I didn't actually watch any of the game. I was trying to find, you know,
I'll send you the bill.
word vomit to have this even get to an hour. But yeah, you know, always appreciate it. Don't worry, we will definitely do that Miller video for sure. For the season, definitely.
Not if I get to it first.
Excuse me. Yeah, no, we'll definitely do that for sure. But once again, thanks for. Oh, it's on like Donkey Kong now. Here, well, we'll try and do it within the next couple weeks or something like that. Yeah, there we go.
Just give me some notice. That's all I ask.
But no, yeah, thanks again.
More than 5 minutes.
Really do appreciate it. Our chats. Yeah. But yeah, yeah, no, I guess I will end it there. Thanks again for coming on, Ryan. Really do appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
Oh, and thank you for everyone that's stayed here watching. I mean, Hangia, shout out to you and whoever else that is here. We got another boost. Wow, we're close to 50 already. So, but thank you.
Maybe I am the comments. Maybe I am the factor in this. Oh boy, that's scary.
I think it might be.
Hey, I'll take it.
But
I'll take it.
Yeah, so we're trying to help Tyler boost up the views. But thank you everyone that's shown up. Can't do this without you guys. Thank you for the support. And actually, I have a last closing thing. Stay connected with Tyler on his socials. Hopefully he'll do me a solid, and when I open up that new channel next week, any of you guys that are here, come check us out. You guys are all invited. March 4th, we're going to be doing a show at 10 p.m. and we'll do some pre-trade deadline talks. And yeah, I think that's all I'm going to say for now. The name actually got finalized today. And I don't know if I should disclose it here, but I like it. And then we're going to have an extra segment with another name that was mentioned last night on Clay's. And we'll see you guys soon. But thanks again, Tyler.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't completely catch all of that because it was a little laggy, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's a lag too.
You know, once again, thanks, Rain, for coming on. G, as always, thanks for coming on, of course, as well.
Thanks,
I don't really, well, you know what? I've met in all. So why don't I do my whole end spiel, with like the like subscribe. I don't know if you guys have noticed in my recent videos, I stopped doing that because apparently people would turn off before I would do that. So I kind of stopped doing it. But screw it, I'll do it in this one, and then that's how it's off. So that being said, if you guys want to stay up to date on all your Vancouver Canucks content, be sure to hit that like button and smash the subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a single video. Also, if you guys are interested, we do have merchandise and you guys can check that out. thelinechangepodcast.threadless.com. Also, we have our official Discord. Be sure to join the discussion. It's completely free to join. There is a link to it in the description down below. You can find and interact with us on social media. Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok. Feel free to give us a follow on all of our social media platforms. Speaking of platforms, you can listen to us on both Spotify and Apple Podcast. Feel free to give us a follow on Spotify. Also, if you have a favorite episode that you just couldn't get enough of, feel free to download your favorite episode as well. I actually just realized I did not do my sponsor read. Oops. So I'm going to quickly do that real quick. I am actually a little surprised that I forgot.
Okay.
There we go. DraftKings Sports.
Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Shopify is the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret, with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts go abandoned and way more sales going through. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
Book, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, is built for the fastest game on ice. With player props and live betting, every shift, every shot, every save gives you options to get in on the game with DraftKings Sportsbook. New customers bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN, that's code THPN, to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8 HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois, 21 plus in most states. Void in Ontario, restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which will expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. This is a limited time offer. Copyright 2026 NHL, all rights reserved. This video has been a presentation of both DraftKings Sportsbook as well as the Hockey Podcast Network. Be sure to check out the network for your favorite podcast covering your favorite team at thehockeypodcastnetwork.com, the home of hockey podcasts, where it's every team, everywhere. There we go. Yeah, I ended up turning that last bit into an actual audio. So there we go.
That's good.
Yeah. And yeah, we'll end it there. Yeah. G, like I said, as always great to have you on. Great to see you again. You know, it's been a while, right? Feels like it was longer than 3 weeks. Felt like what, at least a month? At least for
Oh
me.
no,
That's what it felt
since the Olympics.
Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, we'll end it there. Thank you guys for those of you that are still around. Thanks for watching. I know that was a long post-game show, and I know we kind of said, an hour 30 minutes is going to be like the limit. We well went past that, but hey, that's what happens when you have big brain Rain on. So, and hey, again, I also don't mind the extra views at all either. So, but yeah, once again, thanks for tuning in, guys. I actually can't think off the top of my head when the next Canucks game is, but regardless, I will try and do a post game for that.
It's against Seattle on Saturday.
Stay tuned in. Seattle, Saturday.
I think
definitely.
I know it's Seattle for sure, but sorry, my bad. No, that's the last. Yeah, it is Seattle on Saturday night. In Seattle at 7 p.m. and it will be on CBC.
Awesome.
And Sportsnet.
That's awesome. I'll actually be able to watch that game because I'm off at 8 on Saturday, so I'll only miss like the first hour or so. So yeah, we'll definitely have a post game for that. I'm not sure if they're playing on Monday, but if they are, I will actually be able to
They
watch
are
that game
against against the Stars.
Nice. So I'll actually be able to watch that game in full on Monday because I'm usually off Mondays. But yeah, definitely stay tuned to the channel for like trade deadline stuff. Even with the whole like Myers stuff, I will, like I said, have a video on that coming out tomorrow. I'm actually probably going to record it after this real quick. And then, yeah, definitely stay tuned for more trade talk. Definitely, at least for me, going to be busy on next Friday for trade deadline. Obviously, I know you and I spoke about doing like a deadline thing along with Whit. So hopefully we can, get that all organized and done. But yeah, I think I've rambled enough. Like Rain would say, word vomit. But we'll end it there. And I probably said that 5 times now. But no, thanks again, guys, and we'll catch you guys in the next post game.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.